evening and welcome to June 6, 1941. My name is Henry Chop, your host, and tonight we are going to watch the next consecutive chapter of Captain Marvel, that movie serial, The Adventures of Superman, The Lone Ranger, Information Please, and This is Wichita. I will tell you a little bit about all of that stuff in just a little bit. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy content like this and click that bell icon to get notifications as to when a new upload will premiere. That will also get us into that YouTube and Google algorithm. This channel does not qualify for monetization because of the vintage radio, music, and film content that we feature. Because of that, we are asking for your support. We set up two links in the expanded description section to this video, one to PayPal and one to GoFundMe. Both are secure. All I see is the amount you contribute and your name, that's all. If the GoFundMe link is out of date, go to a more recent video or this channel's description for an updated link. These videos take quite a bit of time and research to put together. Thank you in advance. Tonight we are up to Chapter 7 in that movie serial Captain Marvel. Shazam! I am kind of enjoying that. I hope you are too. And then following Captain Marvel, we have some more adventure with The Adventures of Superman. That program was syndicated and aired in Chicago over station WGN at 7:15 in the evening. And following The Adventures of Superman, also on WGN, was a Mutual Network program, which was The Lone Ranger. And this episode is titled Gold Strike in the Ghetto. Nah, I was just being facetious there. It's Gold Strike in the Ghetto. And then following The Lone Ranger, we have Information Please, and their guest tonight is Sally Benson. That program also aired at 7:30 in the evening Chicago time, so this would have been competing directly against The Lone Ranger. An interesting combination there. And then following Information Please, we have This is Wichita, which was a local program from Wichita, Kansas. I don't know what station this aired on, and I could not find much information on it. But this program is titled Coronado. It's the story of Coronado and the very early exploration of the American Midwest. Very cool stuff. So let's thread the film. I have the film threaded through that old film projector. The white sheet's up on the wall. Let's watch Captain Marvel.
What happened to me? Say, how did you...
Fisher is dead, and the lens is gone.
It was the Scorpion. That's the second lens he's stolen. What are we gonna do to stop him?
Nothing right now. You must tell Malcolm and the others to take some drastic action to protect the rest of the lenses. Come on.
Okay. And when Captain Marvel got there, Fisher was dead.
We certainly need Captain Marvel's help more than ever now.
Oddly enough, he always seems to know when and where the Scorpion will strike next. That's how he saved my lens.
Where does he get his information? How did you know that Fisher was in danger?
Why, what Billy told me.
Batson? How did he know?
Why, when he heard about the message that the Scorpion broadcast to your meeting, he...
How did he learn that?
Well, I guess Betty must have told him.
Our meetings must be held in strict confidence. Our lives depend upon it. And Miss Wallace should be made to understand this. You're right, Talchatali. I shall warn Betty not to repeat a thing she hears at these meetings.
We'd have had Bentley's lens, too, if it hadn't been for Captain Marvel.
I believe I found a way to take care of him. At the meeting today, I learned that Betty Wallace has been talking too much. It was her information that brought Captain Marvel to Fisher's. We can use her to lure him into a trap.
What kind of a trap would ever hold him?
I have in mind a destructive force that no living being could withstand. Phone Miss Wallace and tell her that...
Certainly. I'll bring them right down. The broadcasting studio wants Billy's notes for his next program.
I thought Billy was gonna pick them up himself.
He must have changed his plans.
You want me to go with you?
No, Mr. Malcolm wants you to stay here.
Now I gotta play nursemaid to a telephone all afternoon.
Take it easy. You've got a date with the Scorpion, lady. Get in.
Hi, Whitey. Where's Betty? Well, the studio phoned and asked her to bring your notes. Didn't you know about it? No, I just came over to get them myself. Well, say, you don't suppose that was a phony message, do you? I don't know, but I'm gonna follow her. You stay here. I'll call you later. That was a smart trick.
Come on, we'll have to find those keys. You come along, too, and help. Catch her!
Shazam!
Where's Miss Wallace?
I don't know.
I said, where's Miss Wallace?
She ran into the woods that way. Look along the edge of the lake. I'll try down here.
You'll be safe enough now.
I'm sure I will, thanks to you. But how did you happen to get here at such an opportune time?
Billy Benson thought you might have been led into a trap.
Billy Benson? Does he know how to get in touch with you?
Yes. I keep my radio receiver tuned to a 16 wavelength. A broadcast on that wave will always reach me.
Thanks. I feel much safer now.
Shazam!
Move over, sister. I'll do the driving now. And Billy Batson also knows the wavelength that will contact Captain Marvel.
Very interesting. Now, you'll have to get Batson and take him along with the girl to the shack on the bombing range.
Right. Do we come back here and call Captain Marvel?
No, he might be suspicious unless the girl calls. Install a broadcasting set in the shack. She can operate it.
But suppose she doesn't call him.
I think she will. Bring her in. There's no need to be frightened, Miss Wallace, yet. That is, if I have your cooperation,
You'll never have my help.
Perhaps you'd better listen first. You can save yourself and your friend Batson a lot of trouble.
Are you hit?
It's nothing. With this action, you'll forfeit your life. Go ahead with our plans. Pick Benson up at his office and get both of them out to the shack at once.
Right. Move on.
Here he comes.
Barnett, this is the Scorpion. The plane is taken off and will drop the demolition bombs on the shack in a few minutes. Leave the shack immediately.
Come on, that plane will be over in no time.
Billy, I'm going to call Captain Marvel. He can get us out of here. Calling Captain Marvel. Calling Captain Marvel. It's Betty Wallace speaking. Billy and I are tied up in a shack on the bombing range. Please help us. Captain Marvel! Captain Marvel! I can hear the plane coming. Captain Marvel! Captain Marvel! Captain Marvel! Captain Marvel!
Stay tuned next for the adventures of Superman.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look! Up in the sky!
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman! Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen, lost underground in the winding man-made tunnels of a dead volcano, have stumbled on a great open pit carved out of the solid earth, in which hundreds of men, chained together, are digging. Listen.
But what are they digging, Mr. Kent?
That's what we're going to find out, Jimmy.
How? We can't take a chance on being seen.
Of course not. We've got to be careful. Jimmy, look down there on the floor of the pit. That dark, shiny stuff they're loading into those little dump trucks.
Maybe it's coal.
No, Jimmy. Radium.
You mean that black stuff is radium?
Pitch blende, the basic ore of radium. Come on.
Where are we going?
Back along this passage the way we came.
But we can't go back into the main corridor. Deutsch and his men will catch us sure.
We're not going into the main passage. We're just going to nose around a little. It really is pitch blende they're digging. There must be solution tanks nearby to process the stuff.
You really think so?
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Hey, give me a hand, Jimmy. I don't want to lose you.
Hey! What's the cannon? Help!
Jimmy! Jimmy, where are you? No sign of him. Jimmy! Jimmy! Great heavens. A hole in the floor. Good thing I can see in the dark. Jimmy must have dropped through. Deep, too. Jimmy! Jimmy, are you down there?
Yes. At the bottom of a pit.
Are you all right?
I think so. I can't understand why I didn't break my neck.
I'm coming down, Jimmy.
Sergeant, they can't be careful. It's a long drop.
Don't worry about me. Here I come. Made it.
Are you okay?
Uh-huh. Oh, what happened up there? Did you walk into the hole?
No, the floor just gave way under me.
That's funny.
What's that?
Sounded like rocks going down an iron chute. Coming from over there. Come on, Jimmy, let's find out what it is.
Wait, I just kicked something. It felt like a rock.
Pick it up. I got one match. I'm going to light it and see what this is all about. It's a piece of pitch blende. Jimmy, we're at the bottom of a huge metal vat. This is where they treat the ore with acid.
Oh, good golly, Mr. Kent. How are we going to get out before they pour in the acid?
Just stick close to me, Jimmy. I'll feel my way around the wall of this chamber. Must be a place where they draw off the solution.
They're loading it up with pitch blende.
I know. Got to find that outlet before they pour in the acid. No, there's no opening on this side. All right, come on, let's look on the opposite side.
Gosh, hope we find the outlet soon.
No. Here, wait. Here's something. Feels like hinges. Wait a minute now. Yes, it's a door. Wait, I'll try to push it open.
It's coming.
Yes.
You've done it, Mr. Kent. It's open.
All right, now I'll hold it with you. Duck out.
Okay. Not very wide. Oh, wait a minute. Seems to be a drop here.
I'm sure it's all right. Just let yourself down easy. All right, now out you go.
Okay.
All right, out of the way, Jimmy. I'll squeeze through. Jimmy, I was right. That was the vat. This must be the room where they leave the solution to settle.
Those big copper kettles.
Yes, Jimmy, there's no question about it. Deutsch and his gang are making pure radium on this island. Evidently, it has a tremendous deposit of pitch blende.
Mr. Kent, what do they use the radium for?
I don't know, Jimmy. Except that in some way it must be tied up with their master plan.
What is it, Mr. Kent?
Someone moaning. Sounds like it's coming from through that wall there.
Look, there's a door. Now, let's try it.
Be ready to run, Jimmy. We don't know what we're getting into.
Okay.
All right, here we go. First these bolts. Be very quiet, Jimmy. I'm going to open the door.
As Kent and Jimmy prepare to track down the mysterious activity in the hollow volcano, Dr. Deutsch, furious over Jimmy's escape from his cell and their inability to find Kent, is angrily reprimanding Hans, his henchman.
Hans, you are an idiot. The king of all idiots.
Yeah, Doctor, the boy was locked in his cell when I left him.
Locked in his cell when you left him. First, you cannot get any information out of him. Then he escapes. A little boy. Just a little boy. And not one of the hundreds of men I have on this island can find him. He has outwitted all of you.
But we will find him. Give us time, Herr Doctor. The island is large. There are miles of tunnels.
I warn you. He will be found, Hans, or you will suffer for it.
Yeah, Herr Doctor. I understand. He will be found.
Not only will the boy be found, Hans, but the man who was with him.
Jawohl, Herr Doctor.
Hello? Hello? Yeah. Two people at the edge of the pitch blende mine? A man and a boy? That must be the boy who escaped from it and the man who was with him. Make a search for them at once. And if you value your neck, you will find them and bring them here to me. Yes. And report to me every 15 minutes. The man and the boy, the air shaft from the pitch blende mine, standing there, watching. And your men are looking for them. How much radium have we on hand?
Here's the report, Doctor.
8 ounces, 2 grams. A total of only 8 ounces, 2 grams from the richest pitchblende deposit in the world. It won't do.
But that, Doctor, takes over 300,000 tons of pitchblende to produce only 1 ounce of radium.
So, have we not the most modern machinery? And of the vats, the largest in the world?
Yeah, here, Doctor, but the problem is not the richness of the ore deposits or even the equipment.
Well, what is it then? Speak up.
Manpower. The men are weary here, Doctor, worn out. They cannot dig fast enough to fill the vats. There are not enough of them for 3 complete ships.
Hans, you sit here and drool about manpower. Do not come to me with such nonsense. Get more men.
But, Herr Doctor, how?
The same way we got the others.
But it is so risky. If we go too far, there will be an investigation.
We take that chance. We must take that chance.
Jawohl, Herr Doctor. But if we are found out, then all is lost. The master plan, everything.
Schweinhund! How dare you offer an opinion? You do as you're told. If we do not take that chance, then the master plan cannot succeed. It is 7 o'clock. By midnight, I will expect you to have more men. You understand? By midnight.
Back in the dark reduction chamber, Kent and Jimmy have opened a heavy iron door to investigate moaning sounds that seem to come from the next room.
Whatever it is, it lives in the dark.
It's not an animal, Jimmy. That's a human voice. I'll bet on it. Now, you stay here and hold the door open, just in case we've got to get out fast. We don't want to get trapped in there.
Okay. Are you all right?
So far. What? It's an old man. Open the door wider. Let's get a little light in here. Oh, I'll be... Jimmy, he seems to be moaning in his sleep.
No. Get out of here. I won't touch your machines again. Never. Leave me alone.
Take it easy, old fellow. We're friends. Come in, Jimmy. Pull the door closed.
All right, Mr. Kent.
Tell me, who are you?
My name's Clark Kent. I'm a newspaper reporter. This is Jimmy Olsen. Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
Why, I've almost forgotten. They used to call me Julius Browning.
What?
Professor Julius Browning before all this.
Gosh, I recognize the name, Professor. You held the chair in radiology at Oxford, if I remember correctly. That was before you disappeared on an expedition to investigate a rich radium deposit.
Yes, that's right.
So what happened, Professor? Why are you a prisoner here?
That man Deutsch, he came to me posing as a fellow scientist with the money to develop these rich deposits of radium ore. It had been a dream of mine for years to get enough radium so that all the sick could benefit from it, so that all science could experiment with it freely. Naturally, I jumped at the chance to go along with Deutsch.
And now you're his prisoner.
Even worse than that. I'm forced to run his machines. When I've done all I can to keep his plant in operation, he imprisons me here.
Are you strong enough to walk, Professor?
I'll find the strength somehow. If it means coming back from this living death, I can do anything.
All right, let me help you. Here, Jimmy, take his other arm.
I'll do it. There. Now, if you'll help me, I'm sure I can manage it.
Your strength will come back, Professor.
Better be quiet. Somebody might be coming for Professor Browning. I'll take a look before we go out.
All right. Coast clear?
All clear.
Professor, you can probably tell us how to get out of here.
Yes, I can. Look there, behind that vat. There's a door.
Oh, good.
It leads into one of the secondary tunnels. Opens directly onto the beach.
Ah, here we are. Jimmy, open the door.
Oh, look. I can see the ocean from here.
Yes. And you can hear the surf.
Now, look carefully where I'm pointing my finger. You see those 2 lights far out on the water?
Yes, Professor.
Watch them. They are buoy lights marking the passage between the island and Dead Man's Reef beyond.
I see them, but they're moving.
Exactly, young man. Buoy lights. Moving. And now, you see those other lights off in the distance?
Yes?
Those are the running lights of a ship. A ship with men on it. Now you'll see how Deutsch gets the men to dig in his radium mines.
What is Deutsch's devilish trick? How does he lure men from the sea to work in chains in the darkness of Volcano Island? Listen in next time for the amazing answer to this question and for another thrill-packed episode.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Stay tuned next for The Lone Ranger.
Horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. In the early days of the western United States, the masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order. Whenever men gathered around the campfire, stories were told of his strength and courage, his daring and resourcefulness. And these stories have come down to us through the generations. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days when the West was young. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We're heading for the Chattos. There's going to be trouble. Hello, Silver!
The east branch of the Chattos River was quiet and deserted until Shad Brownlee discovered gold there. The word of the strike spread like wildfire, and homesteaders, settlers, ranchers, and shopmen rushed to the river. All along the wooded shores, axes swung on trees, pickets scrapped on rock, and shovels dug into soil as men searched for the precious metal.
There it is, Tonto. Look down there.
Look at people.
They've come from all over, Kemosabe. With all those men and women greedy for gold, there's bound to be trouble.
Before they come, river clean, like sky. Good to drink. Tonto not drink water now.
The water's muddy and royal, Tonto. They're panning it for gold, and...
Why we come here, Kemosabe?
Because of what we heard in Pecos. There's a man named Tarrant who's supposed to have headed this way.
Tarrant?
Yes. He hasn't a very good reputation, Tonto.
Him come here, maybe?
With this gold strike on, it's a good chance that he's here.
Him after gold like vulture, after feast.
That's what I've heard about him, so we'll look around here a bit. The only trouble is I don't know what this man looks like.
Huh?
I couldn't get a description of him, but we'll keep our eyes open.
We go down the river now?
Yes, this trail leads right down the cliffside to the river's edge below, and
Wait, don't shove me back. Wait, look out.
What's that?
Over this way, Tonto. It's on the cliff.
Look out.
Look there.
Two men fight on edge of cliff.
Stop! Stop that fight!
Now I got you, Jeffrey.
What's going on here? You knocked that man off the cliff.
Take on me, mister. An hombre had it coming to him.
Sure he did. It's good for him Macklin didn't use his guns instead of his fists.
He needed a cooling off. Let him swim ashore, and the next time he tries to get tough with me, I'll deal him out lead bullets, savvy?
Quick, look here.
What is it?
Him in trouble.
Tonto, that man can't swim.
We go down the river. We hurry.
Well, there's no time for that. The current's too swift. I'm going after him.
Me get rope.
It's too far for a rope, Tonto. And he's too panic-stricken to hold on to one anyhow. I'm diving after him. Head for the bank of the river. Hip!
Watch out. Water deep.
Where are you? Take it easy. It's all right. He's going under. I've got you. Don't struggle. Over on your back.
I can't swim.
Relax. Don't struggle. We've got you in the shallow water.
Knocked me off the cliff.
The current's strong. This isn't easy.
You're making any headway?
Don't turn around. Stay on your back.
Listen, what's that roaring sound?
Don't twist round.
It's the falls. It's the waterfall. We'll drown. We'll go over the edge and drown.
Save your strength. We're getting ashore.
Can't make it. We'll drown.
Take it easy. Don't go loco.
It's getting louder. The current. I can feel it.
You get rope.
Tonto, over this way.
You get rope. Oh, don't fall. Here.
Good. I got the rope, Tonto. Here, you. Got your arms through the loop.
Yeah, we gotta hurry, mister.
The other arm now. And that's it. Pull, Tonto. I'll help. Pull him ashore. That's it, Tonto. That's it.
Help me, mister. Help me.
We'll be all right. Not much further. Hold your head up. Shallow water.
I can touch bottom. I can touch bottom.
Stop the horses, Tonto. It's all right now. Let me take that loop off. There. Now easy. Come on. Up on the bank. A little further. Good.
Mister, you sure saved my hide that time. I was drinking too doggone much that water all at once. Might have near drowned. If it hadn't been for you,
You all right?
You got down the cliff just in time, Tonto.
Me see waterfall not far off. Tonto plenty scared for you.
Indian, I reckon I gave your partner here a heap of trouble, but well, you're masked. I didn't notice in the water. Mister, that white horse on the bank, is his name Silver by any chance?
It is.
Then, mister, you're the Lone Ranger.
They come.
Now, what's your name?
Jeffries. So you're the
Jeffries. Don't let anyone know who I am, understand?
Huh?
Tonto and I'll be around. If you ever need us, come to the top of the cliff above the riverbank. But mention to no one who we are.
Mister, I don't savvy.
Never mind my reasons. I can promise you they're good. You understand?
All right, if you say so.
So you got him out of the water, huh? Been just too bad for him if you hadn't.
Macklin, you deliberately shoved me over the edge.
Deliberately nothing. I hit you and you fell over the edge yourself.
You didn't do a thing about saving him.
No, I didn't, because I ain't none too friendly with Jeffrey, savvy? Besides, mister, to change the subject, I see you wearing a mask.
Well?
There's all kinds of folks around this neck of the woods, but we don't like masked men. Wiley.
Yeah, Macklin.
Give me them boots.
Yeah, here you are.
Last man, he left these boots up on top of the cliff. I brought them down special for you. Here. And the warning goes with them. I'd suggest you and your engine part vamoose pronto.
Thanks for the suggestion. We'll decide for ourselves.
And you better keep them boots off unless you feel like dying with them on, savvy?
That heap big talk.
Macklin, if you're angling for trouble, you can start any time. But I don't think you'll finish it.
Yeah. Stick around and you'll find out. Adios. Come on, Wiley. They still looking after us, Wiley?
No, not anymore.
I reckon they don't know that.
Yeah, I reckon not.
I wonder if they'd like to know that my real name is Tarrant.
Now, Sal, just keep looking at the ground, see if you can find any of those bits of shiny rock I told you about.
That's gold, isn't it?
If we find some, we'll all be rich.
But where's Pa? He ought to be here, shouldn't he?
He'll be along soon. He said for us to keep prospecting until he got back.
Is something the matter, Mama? You sound so funny.
No, nothing's the matter.
You almost got tears in your eyes. Did Pa go away to fight somebody? Was it Macklin and the other one, Mama?
Sal, pay attention to our business. We're looking for gold. Now, we
Linda, we got it!
Dan Jeffries. Dan, why your clothes are so clean through. Did you fall in the creek?
Yeah, but forget that.
And your face, you got a black eye. Oh, Dan, I was so worried for fear you might be fighting with guns. But as long as you just use fists, well, that's bad enough.
Oh, forget it. Forget everything, Linda. I come to tell you. Come along with me.
Pa, what is it? Is it something good?
Something good? Why, Sal, it's what we've been hoping and praying for all along. I found gold. Oh, who cares? We found gold. Right here, Linda. Stop right here. This is it. Come on, Sal. Jump down. That's it. Right this way. Come on, Linda.
Jeff, not so fast. You're all hit off.
Sure I am, and small wonder.
Pa, you were saying how you found the gold.
Oh, yes, Sal. Well, after the masked man and the engine fished me out of the creek yonder, I went quartering up this slope to get my horse.
Was the masked man nice?
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure.
This is far away from the other prospectors, Pa.
Oh, never mind that. You want to hear what I'm telling, or don't you?
Uh-huh.
It was right up this slope here. Linda, I never would have come this way as a regular thing. Sure was lucky I fell in that creek, huh?
Why, Pa?
Because then I walked this way and... Stop right here. Now, look.
Where?
I don't see a blessed thing, Dan.
Oh, not down on the ground, Linda. Right here. This here outcropping of rock.
Oh, but I thought gold was always on the ground or in a creek bed.
Linda, gold is where you find it. And this ain't just placer gold. Gold that's been washed off and down into the water. This here's a big strike. It's gold ore. Yes, sir, we're rich.
Rich? Oh, Pa, does that mean I can have a pony?
You can have 2 ponies. You can have a dozen ponies and a special one for Sunday. Now, that masked fella brought us luck, and from now...
Dan, look out.
You again, huh, Jeffries? I don't like your trespassing.
Hold to that gun and get off my claim, Macklin.
Your claim? Your claim? This here's my claim, Jeffries. Mine and Wiley's.
What are you talking about?
Just what I said. We come along here and found this outcropping all right and legal. Wiley's down at the creek right now, posting the claim notices.
Why, you ornery polecat, I got here first. I put my markers in and
There
you
weren't no markers. Now skedaddle off here before I do. What the...
Why, it's down by the river.
I told you to vamoose.
We ain't decided that argument yet. I'm heading along to the creek right with you.
Don't shoot. Don't do nothing more.
Wiley, what in tarnation are you doing? Looks like you're taking a bath.
You know better than that. Don't let him shoot.
Don't let who shoot?
He means me, Macklin.
What the...
Out!
You're too free and easy with that gun, Macklin. Tell your partner to come out of that water, and both of you make tracks.
You can't do this to us. We found this
That's
place.
enough. There are your horses. Use them.
All right, come on, Macklin. Don't shoot. Get up there. Come on.
Get up there.
Come on, get up there. Come on.
Gosh, mister, you shot the gun right out of Macklin's hand. And he's the toughest hombre around here.
Jeffries, are you sure that's his name?
Huh?
Are you certain his name is Macklin?
Well, for all I know it is. Ain't it?
Never mind.
Dan, are you all right? Oh.
Pa, is this the masked man?
This must be Sal, your daughter.
We heard the shouts and the shooting, and we got frightened.
Linda, the masked man spilled Wiley right into the creek. They were all set to grab off this claim themselves, and the masked man stopped them.
Tonto and I saw where they turned back. You see, we'd been following their trail.
It's a good thing the agent's coming to Chattos River soon. I want to get this claim registered fast before there's more trouble.
Then get your claim markers up. That's the first thing, Jeffries. And keep watch. Remember, there's no law out here yet.
I don't like it. We're so far from the other prospectors.
Pa, can I help put in the post?
Sure, Sal. You come right along. We'll get him put...
An Indian.
It's all right. He's my friend. Hi, Kimosabe.
You all right, Kimasabi?
Yes. What is it? What's wrong?
You get ready.
Plenty trouble come. Heap soon.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. Tonto refused to talk in front of Jeffries and his family, so the Lone Ranger left with Tonto. And as they headed for their camp on the cliff overlooking the Chattos, the Lone Ranger broke the silence.
What is it, Kimosabe? Is it about Macklin and Wiley?
That's right. How you know?
It didn't take more than a good guess. You rode Scout down from the direction in which they left. I knew you'd pass close beside them.
Me hear shots. Me come past. And me stop. Hear Macklin, Wiley. Come up trail.
You heard them?
That's right.
Just as well you didn't talk in front of Jeffries and his wife and daughter. But now, let's have it.
Macklin, Wiley, them plenty bad hombre.
Yes?
Tonto sure of that.
How can you be sure? After all, we have no way of being certain.
Well...
And even what happened at the claim, they might have made a mistake.
That's not mistake.
There are plenty of tough characters at a gold strike, Tonto. Rough, but not really dishonest. Perhaps Macklin and Wiley...
But Tonto hear him.
Oh?
Tonto hear Macklin say him steal claim from Jeffries. Another one say, good.
They said that? That settled it then, Tonto. We've given them all the rope there was. And now that we know they're bad men for sure, we'll give them no more slack.
We spill them like rum and maverick, huh?
Hold up, Tonto.
Steady, Scout, steady.
What else did they say?
Tonto not here.
You have no idea of their plan? No idea how they intend to get Jeffries' claim?
Them ride past quick, Kimosabe. Tonto not follow them.
I understand. You have your danger whistle?
Tonto got whistle.
Good. I want you to keep your eyes open, and I'll be back.
Where you go?
Never mind, Kimosabe. I'll be back. But keep on watch.
Tonto do like mask friend say. Adios.
Adios. Come on, Silver.
Him ask Tonto about whistle. Him not say, but Tonto know. Sometime maybe whistle blow again. And that mean danger. Heap danger.
Another hour's ride and I'll be back talking to Macklin. Smart gent, that Macklin. Sure good I hitched up with him. You ought to make out all right. What's that? There's the masked man. Maybe I ought to... Where's my rifle? No, he's out of range. I couldn't get a bullet near him. Look at him go. I reckon I better tell Macklin about this. Come on, hoss. I was covered by the cottonwood when I seen him, Macklin. I drew up and made certain. It was him, all right. No mistaking that horse he rides.
You should have dry ghosted him.
He was too far away. There wasn't a chance. Wonder where he's heading.
Never mind.
The way he was going and the engine wasn't
I said never mind, Wiley. We got more important business. Did you see the gent you was sent for?
The agent?
Did you?
Macklin, he'll be right here at the Chacos day after tomorrow to register all legal gold claims.
Now you're talking my lingo. Day after tomorrow, huh?
He's going to set up a temporary office further down the branch, down where all the folks are crowding.
Good. That leaves this section clear for us to work in.
How's Jeffries doing?
He put his claim markers up, that's all.
He ain't told nobody about his strike?
Not him. He's keeping quiet till he registers it.
Just his claim markers, huh?
Yeah.
Macklin, I was figuring.
It shouldn't be so hard to move one of them markers from where it belongs.
Nice figure, Wiley.
Just plant one of them further downstream. Take the upstream one and move it down below the other one. That moves Jeffrey's claim.
Yeah, then we put our claim markers where he had his. The agent comes along and that gold is ours, all proper and legal.
Yeah.
Now, wait a second. Where you heading?
You said change them claim markers.
Going local? We don't do that now.
Well, why not?
We wait till the last minute, Savvy. We wait till that agent is all ready to register the claim.
Well, what for?
Well, it's simple. If we change the markers now, Jeffries is bound to notice it. He'd change them right back. But if we wait until the agent is due, then he won't notice it till it's too late. It won't do him no good then.
Yeah, Macklin. That's right smart.
We're going to get that gold, Wiley. I aim to get it day after tomorrow. We go out around dawn. Watch your feet, you clumsy fool.
It's still not light enough to see where I'm stepping.
That's dawn, ain't it? That agent got to the Chattos last night, didn't he?
Yeah?
See Jeffries around any place?
Don't see nobody stirring.
All right. Here's his claim marker.
There it comes.
That does it. Now give me the piece of wood with our claim stuck to it. Pick up Jeffrey's marker and come on.
We head downstream?
Yeah, we plant this downstream. When Jeffries gets around to registering his claim, he won't have a thing but a lot of gravel and no gold. We'll have the gold.
Stand still there, boy. Let me get this cinch tightened.
The agent's come, ain't he, Pa?
Yeah, right downstream. I'm going in to see him now to get our claim registered.
You sure there'll be no trouble?
Oh, Linda, he's from the government. Now, don't worry.
You've been almighty careful. Nobody learned we had that land claimed out, Dan.
Oh, that's why we didn't even camp on it, so strangers wouldn't look too close. But now, while me and Tonto ride to the agent, I want you and Sal to go right over there. I want you to set right on that claim till we get back.
We will, Dan.
All right, Tonto. We riding?
Oh.
Hey, what in tarnation's troubling you?
Tonto not know where Masked Friend is.
The Lone Ranger?
Him gone long time already.
He'll be back. We can count on him.
Well, that's not all. You remember about Macklin, Wiley?
He been around again?
No, Linda. Injun, have you seen him?
Oh, Tonto not see him,
Yeah,
but...
you see, Linda? There's no sense fretting. Besides, the masked man scared him away. I'll bet this whole gold claim on it. Now, let's get traveling. There's plenty of folks going to see that agent, and I want to get in line early. Come on, get up there.
Now, take it easy. Don't crowd. You might stick yourself on the other fellow's spurs.
Take a squint to see who's right behind us, Wiley.
Be careful.
Jeffrey's in that engine.
Yeah.
You'll all get... Now, move right along here, gents. If you want your claims registered, right here's the place and I'm the man. I can guarantee you'll get the land, but there ain't nobody can guarantee you'll get the gold. Hey, you're next, mister.
Right, pretty feller, ain't you?
Now, I can be pleasant.
My name's Macklin. Me and my partner want our claim registered.
Yeah.
Point it out from here, gents.
I can't see it from here. It ain't around these other diggings. It's further up on the east branch of the Chattos.
Huh?
See that waterfall yonder?
Yeah.
It's right above that waterfall on the east bank. There's a rotted tree that's been blasted by lightning. That marks the downstream edge of our claim. And then there's a granite boulder to mark the upstream edge. Now,
Hold on there.
Get back, you. Wait your turn.
That's my claim. This fella's lying. That's my claim he's talking
Well,
about.
you coyote.
Hey, we're lining up.
You not touch guns, Tonto shoot.
You.
Stand back, Tonto. I'll handle this.
Tonto say nobody reach for guns.
All right, Injun, that's enough. There won't be any ruckus. Holster them guns. I'll handle this.
Ah.
Now, let me get this straight. You say these gents are describing your claim, huh?
Yeah, I discovered it. They can't jump it.
You got it marked out clear?
Sure I have.
Well, sir, I don't know what kind of a game this hombre's trying to run, but all I gotta say is you are the agent. Let's go out there right now.
I don't know.
Sure, you gotta check it anyway.
You, mister, what do you say?
It's my claim. Come on out and you'll see where I posted it.
All right, gents, we go right now. Get your horses.
Go on. Come on, Tonto.
Where's my pony?
You're with me, ain't you? Huh? Tonto?
No, we go alone. Tonto wait here.
Huh?
You go. Tonto wait here.
Come on, there ain't all day. Come on.
Tonto, I don't savvy. Well, all right, I'm coming.
What matter, masked friend? Why him not come? That masked friend, him come at last. Get him up, Scouts.
Tonto, where
on.
You come this way. They're heap trouble upstream. You've gone long time.
I got what I went for. Where's Jeffries? Where's the agent?
Everybody go upstream. Macklin, Wiley, they say claim belonged to them, not Jeffries.
What? You mean they changed the claim markers?
That's what Tonto figure. Only Tonto figure too late.
How long ago did they leave here?
We can't get there first. No way to do that.
I can get there first, Kimosabe. I can cross the river here and cross back again above the waterfall. I can get to that claim before them.
That's plenty dangerous. Current heap strong.
I've got to get there first. Tonto, you ride after them. Try to be with them when they get to the claim.
Me go with you.
No, do as I tell you. Get traveling.
Now, Tonto, go.
I'm cutting this way. Come on, Silver. Across the river. Now, Silver. Swim, boys. Swim.
When the tar gets back, we'll own all this gold, won't we, Mommy? It doesn't look shiny yet like gold, but
Why, Sarah, look, it's the masked man. He's riding right up along the edge of the stream.
That's funny, Mommy. He jumped off his horse and right back on again.
Masked man, where you been?
They'll be coming here in a moment. I just managed to get ahead of them.
What were you doing?
I was making sure your father gets the claim he found.
I don't understand all this. Who's coming up here?
There. It's your husband and Tonto and Macklin. All of them.
I don't savvy this, but masked man, you better be careful. None of them folks seen you before, and that mask you're wearing, they might take you for an outlaw.
I don't think anyone will shoot at me, not while... Tonto's danger whistle. Down on the ground, fast.
Gosh, mister, it was Macklin and Wiley. They shot right at you.
Tonto and the others have their guns now. I'm going to meet them. Come on, Silver.
Howdy, stranger. I'm sorry these fellas drew their guns on you.
Tonto see him. Blow whistle.
Well, how'd we know that hombre was the Lone Ranger? We saw a masked man, so we pulled trigger.
Figured he was an outlaw. You should have inquired before you got so free with your bullets. But no harm's done.
Let's settle this claim business once and for all.
You know, it suits me. The claim markers are right down here, gents. Get up there. Get it.
This is the upstream marker, so it'll prove which one of you owns this piece.
Come along.
And me.
That's far enough. Just stand back while I read it.
Guess we struck it rich, Wiley. He's going to come right up with our names, and that's all.
All right, gents. There's no doubt about it. Which one of you is named Jeffrey?
That's me.
All right, the claim is yours, like you said.
The claim is... Somebody's changed him.
I took care of that, Tarrant.
What did you call me?
You heard me. Your name's Tarrant. I wrote to get a description of you, and you're the man. Here it is, and I'm giving it to the agent.
You're the one that changed them markers. You did it. You got up here first. You did it.
I reckon he did, Macklin, or to call you by your right name, Tarrant. You and your pard are going to the calaboose for attempted claim stealing. Heist your hands. All right, gents, take the shooting iron.
Dad! Oh, Dad!
And, Sal, it's ours. This claim is ours. They're putting those two hombres in jail.
Oh, well, of course the claim is ours. You said it was, didn't you?
Well, sure I said it was, Sal. But let me tell you, if it weren't for the Lone Ranger, it wouldn't have been my land at all. Or my gold either. Not by a long shot.
you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger, Incorporated.
Stay tuned next for Information Please.
It's 8:30.
It's 8:30, New York time. Time to wake up, America, and stump the experts. Every week at this time, Lucky Strike sets up a board of experts for you to try your wits against. For every question we use, Lucky Strike pays out $10 plus a copy of the new Information Please quiz book. If your question stumps us, you get $25 more plus a 24-volume set of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Send your questions to Information Please, 480 Lexington Avenue, New York City. If our editorial staff edits your questions a bit, don't fret over it. In case of similarity, we'll have to be sole judge of who shall be paid, and all questions become the property of Information Please. And now light up a Lucky Strike as I present our master of ceremonies, the literary critic of the New Yorker magazine, Clifton Fadiman. Mr. Fadiman.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, Information Please is completely unrehearsed, uncabined, uncribbed, and unconfined. Those who tonight will do the uncribbing are, in the first place, our traditional trio, the versatile composer and pianist, Oscar Levant, the verse writer and conductor of the Conning Tower in the New York Post, Franklin P. Adams, and that eminent authority whom we must now call Dr. John Kieran. For last week, Mr. Dr. John Kieran received an honorary degree of Doctor of Science. Hi, Doc.
Well, we have a doctor in the house now.
At last. Our guest this evening is the author, Sally Benson, whose book, Junior Miss, has received great critical and popular acclaim. Now remember, for each question that's missed, Lucky Strike rings up $25. And that's paid out to the sender, plus 24 volumes of the Encyclopedia Britannica. We're off with a question coming to us from Ruth Henson of this city. Get 2 out of 3 on this, Miss Benson and gentlemen, if you can. With what character or author do you associate each of these phrases? And each of the phrases has the word tell in it. The first is, tell me like you done before. Tell me like you done before. Mr. Levant.
I'll guess. Is it of Mice and Men?
Right. That's no guess. You knew it.
Well, then I guessed right.
And what's the character who uses the phrase? Do you remember?
Well, he's always yelping for George, and he's
right. Therefore, his name isn't George.
Lenny.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Adams. And Mr. Levant. That's quite right. The big bruiser in Of Mice and Men who wants...
He wants to touch some soft hair so he can bash a few heads, actually.
That's putting it very bloodily. But he wants the sort of fairy tale story of their future to be recounted to him again and again and again by George. Now, how about this next sentence? Should I tell him? Should I tell him?
Should you? Tell us.
I'll have to tell you. It's the Mad Russian, Eddie Cantor's comedian, who says it in a different way, which I cannot imitate. Can you? Can any of you do that? Should I tell him? It's a famous phrase, apparently. Listen to the radio, Mr. Adams?
No, sir.
You should. There's some lovely things on it. Here's the third and last of the tell phrases. I'll tell the world. I'll tell the world. Phrase you may have heard.
That's a song title.
With what character or author do you associate it, Mr. Levant? Mr. Kieran, Miss Benson.
Could it be Ring Lardner's? You know me, Al?
It might be that the phrase is used there. Mr. Adams?
It might be Lawrence Stallings.
No, it's pretty far from both Ring Lardner and Lawrence Stallings. It's William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, in Measure for Measure, has Isabella, remember this, Mr. Kieran, use the phrase addressing Angelo, the tyrannical Angelo. I'll tell the world aloud what man thou art, she says. You see, Shakespeare knew his stuff, too. That gives us 1 right and 2 wrong, sending $25 to Miss Henson, courtesy of Lucky Strike, and a set of the Britannica. And that starts us off very beautifully. See what you can do with the next one, coming from Julius R. Cogan of Chicago. Get 3 out of 4 on this. It's a very easy one. What contemporary magazine writer uses as his favorite geographical background the following places? The first place is Birmingham, Alabama. Mr. Levant.
Octavius Roy Cohen.
Right, Octavius Roy Cohen. Which one uses Phoenix, Arizona as background? Mr. Adams.
Mr. Kellen.
First name?
Clarence Buddington Kellen,
yes,
with 1 D.
Give him all his names. Clarence Buddington Kellen. That's right. Which one uses the Bronx as a background? Miss Benson.
Arthur Kober.
Arthur Kober, yes, in his stories which run from time to time in the New Yorker. Add. Which
My
one
dear
uses which one uses Cape Cod as a background? Cape Cod, Miss Benson.
Phoebe Atwood Taylor.
That's right, in the A.Z. Mayo stories. And what other well-known writers?
Joseph C. Lincoln.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Joseph C. Lincoln. Mr. Levant, did you
How
have
about
another?
Marquand?
J.P. Marquand. I don't think Cape Cod.
It isn't Cape Cod.
Well,
Why not?
Massachusetts.
Well, it's a big city.
I don't think it gets as far south as Cape Cod. Well, we're all right on that. How about this one? From Joseph J. Einhorn of Croton, New York. Get 2 out of 3. Now, what Chief Justice, mind you, of the Supreme Court, held at one time the following cabinet positions? The first is Secretary of State. Now, there were two Chief Justices that held the position of Secretary of State at one time. Can you name them? Mr. Adams, start us off.
One is Charles Evans Hughes.
Yes, just retired. And Mr. Kieran, do you have another one in mind?
Oh, that was mine. I have one.
Mr. Levant.
I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm confused with Mr. Hay, formerly a Secretary of Lincoln, with Mr. Jay, the first Supreme Court, so you can see how confused I am.
Oh, that's all right. Hay and Jay? No, neither Hay nor Jay. Mr. Adams?
Supreme Court Chief Justice that
Chief.
once had a cabinet position?
As Secretary of State.
It isn't White, is it?
No. No Hay, no Jay, no White, but Mr. Kieran?
Well, Taft.
Secretary Taft was Secretary of War.
Now, hold on. It was John Marshall. John Marshall, who served as Secretary of State under John Adams and later became Chief Justice, one of the most important ones we've ever had. Have to mark that one wrong. Now, what Chief Justice held the post of Secretary of the Treasury? Now, there were 2 of those, as a matter of fact. Can you name them?
Not in our time.
No, they were before your time,
No.
Mr. Levant.
I know all the Treasury boys.
No doubt they regret it as much as you do. Can you name 1 out of the 2? Can you give me a half of the name? I'll settle for 10 cents on the dollar, gentlemen. The answers are Roger B. Taney and Salmon P. Chase, who were both Secretaries of the Treasury, one under Jackson and the other under Lincoln. We're doing nobly so far. How about this one? What Chief Justice held the cabinet position of Secretary of War? Now, there was just one, Mr. Adams.
W.H. Taft.
Well, you came through dandy on that,
We had
Mr.
a
Adams. That's right.
rehearsal.
But I'm afraid that isn't quite good enough. That's going to send $25 to Mr. Einhorn, courtesy of Lucky Strike, and a set of the Britannica. How about this one from Bernita Gwaltney of Bloomington, Indiana? Get 2 out of 3 again. What mythological story would answer each of these questions? First, why is there a desert in northern Africa? I mean the mythological explanation. Miss Benson.
Well, after the flood, the land had dried up, and then Phaeton wanted to drive Apollo's chariot, and they set the world afire, and that part burned so badly that it's never, nothing's grown on it since.
You sound as if you believed it.
It's true.
That's right. That's a perfect explanation. We get what common word from the story? Didn't Phaeton give us a word?
Phaeton.
No, he just borrowed his father's car.
Well, isn't there a kind of carriage known to this day as a Phaeton?
A carriage.
Yes, a kind of carriage.
Didn't look like the chariot.
That's correct. What causes an echo? Give me the answer from mythology. Mr. Kieran.
Echo causes an echo according to old mythology. She faded away until nothing was left of her but her voice.
That's right. Why did she do this?
She was crossed in hopeless love.
You have the nicest way of putting things, Mr. Kieran.
She got even, I'll say that.
Well, I think... Yes, she's been taking her revenge ever since. Well, wasn't the trouble that she always had to have the last word?
That's right.
And she was
the
punished?
curse was put upon her.
That's right. She was given the last word, but nothing else. Now, how about the story of Narcissus? Why does the Narcissus grow by a water's edge? Miss Benson.
Well, because Narcissus fell in love with himself looking in a pool.
Yes? What has that got
and
to do with the flower?
he changed into a flower.
Who did that to him?
Probably Juno. She was usually changing people in, but I'm not
I
sure.
have no idea who was responsible for that change. He just pined away at the water's edge and became the purple and white flower which bears his name. Do you think those questions are easy, Miss Benson?
If you're effeminate, they're
fairly
all right.
easy, yes.
Pretty easy. All right, see what you can do with this one. This is harder. I think we'll have you get all on this. It's a 4-part question. That was thought up by Mr. Harry A. Earnshaw of Balboa, California. Now, what well-known title in literature does each of these athletic or sporting activities suggest? For example, tennis might suggest Shakespeare's play Love's Labor Lost, perhaps. Now, how about football? Can you give me a literary title? Mr. Levant.
Something about a bar. 30 years on the
Behind
bar.
the bars?
Yes.
Don't know the title.
Oh.
Well, I'm making it up. There must
Behind
have
the
been one.
mast, you mean?
Don't know. 2 years, you mean? They don't have masks in football. Mr. Kieran.
Tennyson's crossing the bar.
That'll do. There are a number of football terms that you could use. The guardsman, Molnar's play the guardsman. Browning's play Pippa passes would have a football
Must
term.
be something called forward, too. A
Sure.
book surely called forward.
I have no doubt that's true.
Command
Mr.
is forward.
Yeah.
All right. How about baseball, if that's so easy? Mr. Kieran.
The man in the iron mask.
Man in the iron mask. Good enough. You can think of a number of others. Chapman's famous translation of Homer, perhaps Mr. Kieran would do.
I'm first looking into Chapman's home.
That would be
Chapman's
a dandy.
triple.
Good enough. How about golf?
T for two.
Is it a song?
Sure, it's a song.
I want a literary title.
I'm not literary
Title of a
tonight.
real book. Mr. Kieran?
How green was my valley?
How green was my valley? That's a peach. Very good one. Mr. Adams?
Abraham Lincoln.
I know. Oh, yeah. Oh, very good. Abraham Lincoln. That's a 2-minute one. It comes slowly. Mr. Kieran. Mr. Levant.
God's little acre.
What's the golfing term?
You need a little room to play golf.
You're just arguing.
Well, I never knew how big God's little acre was.
I don't think acre is a golf term. How about Spoon River Anthology? Is that all right,
Very good.
Mr. Kieran? That's pretty good. Huh? How about poker now? See if we can get a couple of titles out of poker.
Poker flat.
That's a good one, Mr. Levant. The Outcast
Charlie's
of the
Andy.
Poker Flat. What'd you say?
Charlie's Andy.
Charlie's what?
Andy.
Charlie's Andy. Oh, isn't that good? Gee whiz. We'll have you permanently, Miss Benson, if you do that just once more.
I have one.
Mr. Levant.
Sixes and sevens.
Sixes and sevens.
That's a play.
Sure.
It's a hand.
That's curious. Yes, sixes and sevens. That would be all right.
It's not a good hand. I don't know what
That's
kind
all
of a play it was.
All right. Mr. Adams, goodbye, Mr. Chips.
Royal family.
Royal family? All right.
Mr. Pym passes by again.
Passes? Sure. And by also is a poker term. Well, that was very easy. That was just to kid around with. Now, how about this one from Albert W. Knoll of this city? We're going to have some operatic excerpts played to us. In each case, it should suggest to you that someone is summoning someone else. There's a sentence for you. Get 2 out of 3. Who is summoning someone else in these operatic excerpts? Let's have the first.
He's summoning us to sleep.
Mr. Levant, any idea on that?
No, it's too tranquil for me.
Too tranquil. Mr.
Doesn't
Adams?
sound like a call.
It's a soft call. It's a soft call.
Call to sleep?
No, don't know what isn't a call to sleep. Mr. Adams, there was a wistful look on your face as if you knew.
No, I wouldn't know.
Did you ever hear the
No
music
opera
before?
calls me.
This one does. It's the opera Iolanthe. And in Iolanthe, to the strains of that dulcet music, the
Well,
Fairy
I never
Queen...
got it from that.
You wouldn't have gotten it from that? Is this a criticism of our piano player?
No, it couldn't be of that.
No, heavens, no. The
Calling
Fairy Queen...
Iolanthe.
The Fairy
Summoning
Queen is summoning
Iolanthe.
Iolanthe, yes. Shall we call that wrong? Do you think you're any better than he was?
Yes, I certainly am.
Well, that's one vote, and we're not going to count the votes. Let's have the second, see whether we can do any better. Miss Benson.
It's Carmen.
It's Carmen, all right. Who's
And they're calling
yelling
the
at
guard.
whom? I beg pardon?
The guard.
Calling whom?
They're calling the guard.
Don Jose.
You're calling Jose, yes. Yes. What is calling him?
Well, he's in a cafe with Carmen, and his troupe is going by, and he hears the music as she's dancing.
Say, that's a good story. You ought to write it.
Yeah, I did, practically.
Mr. Levant.
He didn't call. He didn't answer the call.
Didn't answer the call. That's how the plot...
Yes, he does.
No, not that time.
No, I think not. I think there was a wait.
You're thinking of poker.
Well, that gives us one right. Now we have to get the next one right. Go ahead. I've got 2 hands. Mr. Levant.
Call on Miss Benson.
You think Miss Benson... Now, Miss Benson may lose this for us.
I don't think so.
Miss Benson?
I think it's when they're summoning Yogi.
Yogi? Is that a wrestling match?
No, what's his name?
Deep breathing
Yogi,
exercises?
Yogi.
Yogi.
In Valkyrie.
Yes. What's his name? Loga?
He's the god of fire.
God of fire. Same as the Scandinavian Loga.
Wotan is got it.
Wotan is summoning him in Deep Valkyrie. You're very good at this, Miss Benson.
Putting the
Thank
heat
you very
on, in
much.
other words.
Now, let's see. So far, Lucky Strike has paid out $50 and 2 sets of the Encyclopedia Britannica. And now Mr. Cross points out one thing for you smokers to remember when the talk is about mildness.
It's just this. You use the word mildness so much because it describes what you want most in a cigarette. Now, the way to get mildness is to pay the price for the naturally milder tobacco. That's the kind of leaf Lucky Strike wants and pays for and gets at auction after auction. For example, at auctions in Mount Sterling, Kentucky last season, to get this finer, lighter, naturally milder leaf, the American Tobacco Company paid 25% more per pound for the tobacco it bought for its cigarettes and other tobacco products. Yes, 25% above the average market price paid for all the various types and grades of tobacco sold there. And the best we bought will go to Lucky's. Yes, Lucky's pay the price for mildness. And, Mr. Fadiman, isn't that what counts most when you step up to the cigarette counter?
It is indeed, Mr. Cross, and you made your point with your usual brevity, just 55 seconds. We'll go on with the second half of the program this evening with a question coming to us from Lucy Galbraith of Phoenix, Arizona. Give me 4 lines of verse, 4 separate lines, in which a cat is mentioned. The ordinary, what do you call him, Mr. Kieran, Phallus domesticus?
That's right.
That's right. Mr. Levant.
It's a song, and it might be ASCAP, so I won't sing it, but it went, hey, pussy, 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 hey, pussy, 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 pussy.
How did you ever think that up?
It was in the Goldwyn Follies.
Well, that gives us more than 4 cats. Miss Benson.
Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? I've been to London to visit the Queen.
That's very good, Miss
Queen
Benson.
Bean.
That's very cute indeed. Mr. Adams.
It was the cat.
It was the cat. It's Gilbert and Sullivan or something.
Pinafore.
That's not even 4 words.
Silently.
It's a good line, though.
Yeah.
It was the cat.
What's the puss in the boots? What is that?
Well, that's a cat in the fairy tale named Puss in Boots. First name Puss, last name in Boots. Mr. Adams?
Kitty Foyle.
You drive me to distraction, Mr. Adams. I don't know whether we have 3 lines or 4 lines. Let's get another.
The Cat and the Canary.
It's a title, all right, but it's not a line of poetry, I don't think. Mr. Kieran?
Can't use tiger.
One of the knights in Idols of the King said that I will be blinder than a blue-eyed cat hereafter to holy virgins in their ecstasies because he went on the quest for the Grail and had a rough time.
Don't think I'm going to deny it, Mr. Kieran. Oh, no. Mr. Adams.
The Owl and the Pussycat went to sea.
Yes, that gives us 4 or 5, with a very brilliant one by Mr. Kieran there. Thank you. Now, how about this one from William J. Nelson of Michigan City, Indiana? Get 2 out of 3. This is up Mr. Levant's alley. Mr. Levant is to show that he recognizes...
Got an alley now, huh?
Yes, he has an alley.
It's a real estate development.
Small. He has to show that he recognizes these unusual conclusions to famous musical compositions by playing the opening passages. Is that clear, Mr. Levant? All you have to do is do the beginning after the conclusion's given to you. Now, there are going to be 3, and Mr. Levant is asked to get 2 out of 3. Let's have the first conclusion. That's all you get, Mr. Levant.
Can't you make it a little tougher?
See,
Well, I'd like to play 2 bars before that. I mean, that's just a cadence. That's a cadence.
it's not enough for me, I'll admit it.
A little 2 bars before that.
All
Really, I
right,
might
2
get it.
bars, all
All
right. Sounds just the same.
Should have asked for 4 bars. Well, I don't want to take up any more time, but I wish you'd give me 2 more bars. He didn't give me 2 more bars.
You have to pay for this.
Beat him, Oscar, to the bar.
Nope.
Go ahead with it, Joe.
You'll have the beginning pretty soon, Oscar, if you
I
keep
got
on
it.
going back. Apparently you hit it, Mr. Levant. Very good. What were you playing, Mr.
That's
Levant?
Chopin's Scherzo in B flat. Minor.
Yes. And how far away were you from our studio pianist when you finished and he began? Well, there was a lot in between?
There's about 12 minutes of
If
very
we had
hard
12
playing.
minutes, I'm sure you'd get that out of me, too. Now, let's have the second of these now. Any luck, Mr. Levant?
That's the part that gets a lot of applause for Mr. Rachmaninoff.
Yes, you have it. Now, can you give us the beginning?
Should I do it again?
Oh, you play it beautifully. Thank you. And now the third and last. You're safe anyway, Mr. Levant. Let's have the next.
I do it this way. Chopin waltz in A flat.
And neatly done. Thank you very much. That gets 3 out of 3 from Mr. Levant. Gee, I'd like to have you continue, Mr. Levant. We've got to go on with the rest of the show to give Miss Benson and everybody else a chance.
It's a good piano.
How about this one from E. Harnham of Bridal Veil, Oregon? No gag either. That's what it says. Bridal Veil, Oregon. Get 2 out of 3. In what detective story is each of the following an important clue? In the first case, everything is turned backwards, including clothing, and a necktie is missing. That's a clue that's to be found in only one detective story out of several million. Any reason why anybody should remember it? Very good detective story.
What color was the necktie?
There was no necktie. I think it was white. The story is The Chinese Orange Mystery by Ellery Queen. Remember it, Miss Benson?
No, I didn't remember
it. Well, it's a very good story, and I happen to remember that one. Out of these 3, that's the only one I remember. How about this one? A kerosene can hasn't the right amount of kerosene in it. It's a clue in what detective story?
Oil for the lamps of China.
Sounds like it might be, Mr. Levant. I don't see how anybody can remember these things. The answer is Richard Lockridge's story, Murder Out of Turn. Murder Out of Turn.
Didn't review that either.
Don't remember that, Miss Benson?
No, I didn't review it.
Oh, maybe we can get to one that you reviewed. How about this one? Étoile Hollande roses. That's a special kind of rose, Mr. Kieran? Étoile Hollande, Holland star?
Maybe.
I don't know. Étoile Hollande roses are in a bowl instead of K and K roses, whatever those are.
He should have been killed with
Nothing could be simpler than that. The answer is the story Beyond Reasonable Doubt by Richard Hull. Well, that gives us 3 wrong out of 3. We went through that pretty quickly. And we lose $25 on that. This lucky strike pays out, plus a set of the Britannica to Mr. Harnham. Now, how about this one from S.G. Pratt of New York? What do these military titles literally mean? Break them down to their real meaning. You get 2 out of 3. The first is lieutenant. What does it mean literally? Mr. Kieran.
Holding place.
Yes. Can you give the derivation of it?
Well, it comes from tenere. I got it from the French. Tenere and lieu.
Yes. Or from the Latin locum tenens. A phrase I think that doctors still use that, don't they? When someone else takes a doctor's place when he goes away for a vacation, he puts on his locum tenens. A substitute or a surrogate. Very good. Now, how about the title sergeant? Sergeant. It has a literal meaning. Mr. Kieran again.
I think that comes from the same word as surgeon, doesn't it?
I don't think so. No.
One more hardware store, is it?
No. It's from the Latin serviens, and so the word would mean a servant. A servant. A sergeant, perhaps originally a servant. Subordinate. Now, how about the title marshal? Mr. Kieran.
Well, that comes from Mars. Oh, you mean... I thought you meant M-A-R-T.
No, I meant the actual title marshal, as in field marshal.
That has something to do with horses, I believe.
Right, it does indeed.
That's also from the French, maréchal.
From maréchal, it's from the Latin mara, which means horse, apparently, and something spelled S-C-A-L-C.
Horse originally, I believe.
Servant, a horse servant. But you're on the right track. And that passes us on to the next question from Francis J. McNellis of Indianapolis. Get 2 out of 3 on this. This is about funeral orations, Miss Benson and gentlemen. Who is the subject of these funeral orations, which I shall now read? Here's the first. This here old man just lived a life and just died out of it. I don't know whether he was good or bad, but that don't matter much. Mr. Levant?
That was the grandfather and old grandfather Joe in Grapes of Wrath. And on Oklahoma when they're going to California.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Levant. That's swell. Let's pronounce that story.
That tall, thin fellow becomes slightly, to some readers, communistic and becomes killed in California.
He is killed, in fact.
Well, I know. Well, what are you telling me for?
What's his name?
His name in the picture was John Carradine. I've forgotten his real name.
Casey. Casey in Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath. I think that's pretty good going to get that one. Now, how about this? You all did love him once, not without cause. Who pronounces that funeral oration line over whom? Mr. Adams?
Over Julius Caesar.
That's correct. Who says it? It's in a speech by whom? You're all right, Mr. Adams. Julius Caesar is what I want to get out of you. It's, Mr.
Mark
Kieran?
Antony.
Mark Antony. Thank you, Mr. Adams. That's right. It was a balmy summer's evening, and a goodly crowd was there. Mr. Adams.
You mean who said it?
Who said it? Who used it as a funeral oration, or a line of funeral oratory? Miss Benson.
The man in the, I don't know what his name was, in the face on the floor, wrongly called the face on the barroom floor.
Well, we have, that is where the lines come from, Mr. Adams, but I don't think that's a funeral oration in the poem. Miss Benson.
Road to Zanzibar, Bob
right.
Hope.
That's right. Bob Hope and Bing Crosby say that over
Yes,
whom?
over Dorothy Lamour's grave.
She's still around.
She's still around. They've just found her clothes.
Thank you. How cheerful of you, Mr. Levant. They come upon her clothes, don't they?
Yeah.
And they think cannibals have eaten her?
Yes, they
which is very
recite that over
understandable.
her grave.
Yes, and they think that's fitting that some poetry
They
should
say
be said.
only an ear, not even an ear or something.
Something like that. How about this one from Gladys F. Steiner of this city? Get 2 out of 3. Who was the unpleasant little girl of fiction who disapproved of her father? This is all about unpleasant little girls.
It's a good thing you said girl. I know that.
It was Elsie Dinsmore. You wouldn't know her, Mr. Levant.
Oh.
What unpleasant little girl of fiction, her interference caused her sister to switch bridegrooms?
I know
Mr.
that.
Levant.
Philadelphia Story.
Yes, what was the name of the nasty little girl?
She was charming. I liked her very much.
Dinah, her name
Yeah.
was. Who disrupted a country school? Another nasty little girl who disrupted a country school. Mr. Kieran?
Mary. She had a little lamb.
Well, she wasn't a nasty little girl. She was a nice little girl. This is a nasty one.
They've never checked up on the lamb.
That might have been tougher. But how about this one? Mary...
Well, I always thought Becky was sort of
That was
nasty.
Mary Tilford in the Children's Hour. That'll send $25 to Miss Steiner, plus a set of the Britannica. And now Mr. Cross believes that there are quite a few smokers who are missing something.
That's right, Mr. Fadiman. They're people who aren't completely satisfied with the cigarette they're smoking. They find it not mild enough. They tire of its taste. But the curious thing about them is that they go right on ordering that same brand. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in all earnestness, if your cigarette isn't giving you the mildness, the smoking enjoyment you want, then surely it's worth your while to try Lucky's. After all, we pay the price to get the finer, lighter, naturally milder tobaccos. For example, 30% more than the average market price last season at Huntington, West Virginia. 34% more at Lebanon, Kentucky. So it goes at market after market, and the best we buy goes into Lucky's. Yes, surely there's enough evidence in favor of Lucky's, so why put off discovering a milder, better-tasting cigarette? Make that next package you buy Lucky Strike.
Thanks, Mr. Cross. This evening, Lucky Strike has paid out $100 in 4 sets of the Britannica. And thanks, Miss Benson, for helping out this evening. Next week, Mr. Adams, Mr. Kieran, and Mr. Levant will be on hand, and our special guest will be the world's most famous titan of tennis, Mr. Bill Tilden. Now remember, for every question we use, whether or not it's answered correctly, the sender gets $10. And if the question stumps us, you not only get $25 more, but in addition, the complete 24-volume set of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Remember to send your letters with questions and the correct answers to Information, please, 480 Lexington Avenue, New York City. And now a parting message from Mr. L.A. Speed Riggs, famous tobacco auctioneer from Goldsboro, North Carolina.
And that chant, ladies and gentlemen, is just another way of saying that if you haven't tried a Lucky lately, you don't know what you're missing. By the way, if you're going visiting this weekend, we suggest that you bring your host or hostess a carton of Lucky's. It's sure to make a hit. Remember, with independent tobacco experts, with men who know tobacco best, it's Lucky's 2-to-1.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Stay tuned next for This is Wichita.
Hello, world. This is Wichita. Eagle, the newspaper for every member of the family, brings you another dramatic episode in the great story of this city. Come along with us for a trip down memory lane. Listen to the dramatic, the thrilling story of This is Wichita. concert orchestra opens with the baton of Russell Lowe conducting the orchestra in El Relicario. Since 1872, the Wichita Eagle has extended a warm hand of welcome to the newcomers. The doormat of Wichita has always read, "Welcome, stranger." And today we welcome the men and women who seek to settle in Wichita, the air capital. In order to assist you in finding good lodging, the Eagle recommends its classified ad section, the largest in Kansas. And if you don't find what you want in this section, just call the Eagle Classified Ad Department. There you will find willing assistance, for the Eagle, in cooperation with members of the Wichita Real Estate Board, will assist you in solving your rental problem. Remember, it's always best to look in the Eagle for news, for classified ads, for comics, and for the world's finest features. And now we lift the curtain on a drama of the earliest days in Kansas. Tonight, the Wichita Eagle presents the dramatic story of Coronado and the Kingdom of Quivira. Three-quarters of a century before the landing at Plymouth Rock, 235 years before Kansas was finally settled by our own pioneers from eastern states, Francisco Vasquez de Coronado, in 1541, penetrated the United States to what is now central Kansas, the Kingdom of Quivira. Let us turn back the pages of history to February 22nd, 1540. Let us go to the little village of Compostela, New Spain, or Mexico as it is known now. It is a great day in the village of Compostela. Feverish activity is all about. It is the day that General Coronado sets out on a great expedition to find gold in the New World.
Gold. Gold. That is all you men think of.
Come, Carmencita. It is not gold that makes everyone happy.
No. You do not understand. Oh, say, what will I do without
My
you?
little one, I will return soon.
But not soon enough.
But I will bring you gold. Huge bags of precious gold and many jewels to twine about your lovely throat.
How foolish one. I seek not jewels twining about my throat, but strong arms. Your strong arms twining about my waist. Your lips against mine.
Carmencita.
No, we have so little time. Jose, let us go to the fortune teller. There is wiser woman who can see far into the future. Come, I will show you.
As you say, Carmencita.
So you come to Serena to make fortune?
Oh, yes. We are in love, and we want so much to know the future. We want to...
my child, you do not need to tell me you are in love. It is in your eyes, in your face. It takes no teller of fortunes to discern love when it is real.
But can you see into the future and see joy and happiness for us?
Yes. Can you tell us if Coronado's expedition will be successful? Will we find gold in the New World?
One asks of love, the other of gold. They are two very different things.
But the gold. We must find the gold. We will.
Many times today, young men have come to me seeking the answer to, will we find gold? Will we find wealth, happiness? And I say to them, no, you will not find gold.
What?
I say you do not know how to look for gold.
That is ridiculous. Is not Coronado the greatest of generals? Has not His Majesty Carlos V of Spain spent 60,000 ducats to equip this expedition?
Yes. It is well equipped. Golden armor for Coronado. Plumes of white and red floating from his helmet. Horses for his men to ride.
Yes, the finest steeds, noble animals.
The finest men, noble fools. Horses for them to ride. Cannons for them to fire.
And yet you say we do not know how to look for gold?
Yes.
You lie.
The future will dispute that.
I do not believe you.
Nor do the others. Yet Serena speaks the truth. King Carlos of Spain has given Coronado and his men everything but eyes with which to look for gold.
False hag. I will return from the New World with my arms so loaded with gold your eyes will be blinded by the brilliance of it. I will pile it high before you, and standing before you in all my glittering splendor, I'll laugh in your ugly face.
Young fool, you will return from the New World with your arms so covered with sores, my eyes will be blinded with tears of pity for you. You'll stand before me in all your haggard despair, a young man grown suddenly old. And then I will laugh in your ugly face.
No, it must not be. Take heed, Jose. Stay here with me. Seek not gold, but love.
It is futile to plead with him now, my child. You must wait until he returns. And then, Jose, Jose, I will tell you how to find gold.
The trumpets. I must go. It's the call to march.
Jose!
Wait for me, Carmencita. I will return to prove this devil woman lies. I will come back to you with gold. Gold.
Come back to me. Come back to me. That is all I ask for.
He will come back, but not sweet gold.
Viva Coronado!
And so, with all the pomp and ceremony that the best blood of old Spain can boast, the expedition of Coronado begins its long journey. They're on their way over the hills of Mexico into the blue distance to spend 2 years in the trackless lands to the north. Eventually, the party forges across what is now the United States border, cuts through the southeast corner of present-day Arizona, and forces its way into the midst of what is now the state of New Mexico. They halt here for the winter of 1540 to 41 in Syndicated, now known as Bernalillo, New Mexico. The spring, after a very cold winter which adds to their other troubles, the army marches toward Quivera. El Turco, a treacherous Indian slave, has deceived Coronado and his men into following him. Coronado's army spends many long days of utter confusion on the barren plains of Texas.
The army awaits your command, General.
We do not move until I understand the meaning of this. Why is this slave thrown himself in front of my horse?
Out of the way, slave. Fools, you wish to be trampled to death?
No. Me friend wants to stop army march.
How dare you, slave? Out of the way. Shall I ride over him, General?
No. Cannot you see he is very serious? He risked his life in front of my horse in order to stop us. Why, slave? Why?
Coronado, brave man, great general, but he follow wrong guide. El Turco, no friend of Spaniards.
I kill you! Stop it! Stay where you are, El Turco. Continue with your words, Mr. Pete.
El Turco, he no friend. He no guide right. He lie. He go south. Fool you bad. Give her a great kingdom to the north. He so Pete say no. He show way to Quivera.
Can it be that I have been so blind? What say you, El Turco? For days we have traveled on this barren land, wandering, helpless, confused, never reaching our destination.
There is guilt in his face, General. I see it now. I have suspected
do not unsheathe the sword. Do not kill me.
Then speak the truth, you slave. For it is my command that you die.
I tell the truth. Pueblos, they hire El Turco to guide you wrong. They hate you. No like Spaniards. They hate white-faced men who kill their people. They pay El Turco to lose soldiers.
You pig!
No, do not kill, no.
Jose, do not kill him. Not yet. Have him placed in chains, and if he speaks falsely of gold in Quivera, he shall die.
Mr. Pete, sure he speak falsely. No gold in Quivera. Great, beautiful land, but no gold.
There must be. Lead us to the kingdom of Quivera, slave.
Mr. Pete lead Coronado to king of Quivera, but no fine gold.
We shall see. I will pick 30 men and proceed north by the needle at the break of dawn. The remaining army shall return to Syndicated to await our report. Good Father Padilla, will you go with us for spiritual guidance?
Si, General. That is my mission. I have not come for gold, but to help bring God to the new world.
Eventually, Coronado and his chosen men cross a river, which Isopete, a native Quiveran, says he recognizes. The stream has since been identified as the Arkansas, and the point of crossing was near to where it begins its great bend, not far from Dodge City, Kansas. All too bitterly, Coronado and his men realize there is no gold in Quivira. After a month, Coronado realizes that
there is no gold here. All this has been in vain if gold is what we sought.
Coronado, thou must not be despondent. I see a great kingdom here.
Unquestionably, Father Padilla. The country is beautiful.
And fruitful. Does it not produce all the products of Spain? Rich black soil watered by the many springs and rivers. See how well, how peacefully these natives live in this land.
But there is not gold. I came seeking gold. When I return to New Spain, I am expected to return with gold.
Think you not it would be content to know you have discovered a fertile land that can be colonized?
Land? We were not sent to seek land.
I am sorry, my son.
Forgive me, Father. Forgive me. If I raise my voice in anger.
I understand.
I am thinking of those men who have followed me, who have had such blind faith in me. I am thinking of those who died on the plains, still believing it was worth it, that we would find gold.
Perhaps the gold you seek will yet be found.
See, it must be that way. That is the only justification for all of this. The gold must be found. I will return to Decatur to the rest of my men, and then in spring I will return with a full army. We will not leave one little corner or inch of this great land unturned until we find gold.
You will leave at once?
Yes, we'll leave at once. We must march back to Decatur. I hope you will not suffer on the journey, Father Padilla.
I will not suffer, for I am not going.
What? You would stay here?
See, you came seeking gold, Coronado. I came as a padre seeking souls. There are many here. I would remain with them.
It is the middle of September when Coronado and his small band of soldiers join the rest of the army in Decatur. I see the faces of those who have died.
Jose, it is useless. Your words of cheer are appreciated, but not useful now.
Dear General, we still have faith in you.
Faith? In a general who stupidly falls from his horse?
It was an unkind twist of fate.
And we have had so many. Well, how long ago it seems that I rode at the head of my army. That day we left Compostela. I, sitting erect on my prancing steed, the banners waving, the cheering throng, each voice crying out, "Find the gold in the New World," each one saying, "We have faith in you, Coronado." And now this.
But surely this is not the end. There must be gold somewhere in that vast land.
Gold? Is it so important, Jose? Look around you. The dirty, unkempt men about you. Their bodies wasted. Their stomachs hungering for food. You have but to look at yourself. You see, Jose, I see you. I see the faces of those who have died along the way. And I think their loved ones they left so long ago. I think of my own beautiful wife, of her loneliness and mine. It is then that I say, it is not worth all this.
But, General, what are we to do? Return to Compostela empty-handed?
We must return. and I must submit my report.
No, let us stay. Let us die seeking the gold.
Jose, you do not know what you are saying.
But to return, to admit failure, to...
Sometimes it is greater wisdom, greater courage to admit you have failed than to go on deluding yourself with visions of grandeur. In glory I led my army to the new world. Ingloriously I lead back to the old world. We must return to Compostela.
No, do not call her. She must not see me this way.
This is the dashing soldier of Coronado's army. This is the one who would return with his arms laden with gold. He would laugh at me and my prophecies.
You were right. There was no gold. We found nothing.
Ah, but you are wrong. There was gold. But you could not see it.
Jose! Oh, where is he? Jose! Oh, my precious one.
Do not look upon me. I'm dirty, ragged.
Jose, you have come back. You have come back. That is all that matters.
The gold. We could not find it. We searched everywhere. Mile after mile we journeyed, but no gold. No gold.
And now, foolish one, I will tell you where to find the gold men really seek.
Where?
It is so near you, blind one. Look into her eyes. Look deeply.
Carmencita.
Jose.
There is the gold, my blinded fool. There is happiness, love, all that man seeks in life. It is there in the eyes of the woman who loves you.
Carmencita, this is the gold she meant?
Yes, Jose. Oh, I tried to tell you. Tried so desperately to make you understand before you went away.
Carmencita.
And now, Serena, show you the great visions of gold that Coronado's army overlooked. Serena, pull away the curtains of time. Serena, hear the words of a great poet who many, many years later will write. Coronado, you came too soon seeking those cities paved with gold. Here as I stand in the blazing noon of a Kansas day, there is unrolled for level acres miles around a fabric covering all the ground with a knee-deep carpet of warm gold. Coronado, the Kansas plains that burned beneath your weary feet required but the touch of some dusty grain to change to a sea of ripening wheat, more precious both then and now than cold paving blocks of glittering gold. Here passed the luckless Spaniards in complete discouragement at having found no gold and precious ingots, while beneath their feet lay passive floods of thick, black, liquid gold.
And so our curtain falls on the story of Coronado. The galleon spectacle is gone, and so is Quivira. A lingering bright shaft of Kansas sunshine breaks through a cloud to dispel the magical mist of centuries. If only Coronado could have seen one glimpse of waving Kansas wheat or the shining cities of today. Wichita is brought to you every Friday evening by the Wichita Eagle, the newspaper for every member of the family. Grateful acknowledgement for the historical data is made to Louise Frankenfeld Wilcox and Grace Snavely Hawk, scriptwriters. Also to Mrs. Cleo Staley and to Kenneth Porter for his poem. We invite you to listen again next week to another dramatic story of This is Wichita.
That's the way it was on June 6th, 1941. My name is Henry Chop, your host, and in a little bit, I will tell you what we are going to listen to tomorrow night, and it is a ton of stuff. We haven't had a Saturday this long, I think, in the history of me doing this stuff. We just have a ton of stuff. It's going to be about a 4 or 5 hour long, probably a 5 hour long or more of upload tomorrow night. Because of that, I'm not going to feature any movies tomorrow night. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy content like this, and click on that bell icon to get notifications as to when a new upload will premiere. That will get us into that YouTube and Google algorithm. This channel does not qualify for monetization because of the vintage radio, music, and film content that we feature. Because of that, we are asking for your support. We set up 2 links in the expanded description section to this video. One is to PayPal and one is to GoFundMe. Both are secure. All I see is the amount that you contribute and your name, and that's all. If the GoFundMe link is out of date, go to a more recent video or this channel's description for an updated link. These videos take quite a bit of time and research to put together. Thank you in advance. Tomorrow night, boy, oh boy, we've got a lot of stuff, and it's a treat to share this stuff with you. I'm excited for this. We're going to start things off with 2 KGEI air checks. That station was out of San Francisco. It was the United States shortwave station, and they usually beam to South America and out to the Pacific. Boy, and there's a lot of stuff on there. We hear a segment of a benefit program for China. We hear a breakfast club program, a musical program, a newscast, a science program, all kinds of stuff on these. And then we have Jungle Jim, front page drama, and Edgar, a guest, of course. And then we have an America First rally, about an hour and 45 minutes long. Several different speakers are in this. And then following that, we have an address by Herbert Hoover. So just a ton of stuff tomorrow night. You are definitely going to want to come back and spend some time with us, and a lot of time. But it's going to be some great, and it's going to be, and the Your Hit Parade Jukebox. How could I forget the Hit Parade Jukebox? We got to have those top 10 records of the week. So just a ton of radio tomorrow night. Man, this is going to be something else. I know you can't wait, just like I can't wait to present this to you. Until then, my name is Henry Chop, your host. Let's turn off this old tube radio. That's our time machine. Good night. God bless.
This changing
this changing scene? Where is it taking us? What does it mean? As long as we're certain of each other, we know we don't have to be afraid. These changing times we rise above. We have no time for them. We have our love, and love is the only thing that still remains the same through all this changing world.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. We are the music makers. And we are the dreamers of dreams, world losers and world forsakers, on whom the pale moon beams. Yes, we are the movers and shakers of the world forever, it seems. Yes, they are the movers and the shakers of the world, the music makers and the dreamers, and sometimes the music is all horrible discords, and the dreams are nightmares. But it doesn't matter. We hope for sweeter melodies and rosier visions tomorrow. Tomorrow. You see, little sister, it's no trick at all getting into the White House.
Anyone can come in and walk around this part of the first floor, but you can't get past those ropes.
Sure you can.
Can't you read that sign? It says closed to the public.
Don't you worry about it now. I'll hold up the rope, and you just scrunch in underneath.
But the sign says...
Come on. Under we go.
Curly, those men with the guns, they're coming toward us.
Our mystery drama, Davy Gerald's Jacket, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dam and stars Russell Horton.
It is sponsored in part by Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Oh, you never would believe where those Keebler cookies come from. They're baked by little elves in a hollow tree.
This tree is perfect, Harold. Carve our names in it.
Yes, dear.
Carve Harold loves Helen.
Yes, dear.
Wait, not in our hollow tree.
Who are you?
I'm Ernie Keebler. We elves bake Keebler cookies in this hollow tree.
Tell him you don't talk to little strangers who live in trees, Harold.
We're baking Keebler double nutty cookies. Want one?
Tell him you've tried peanut butter sandwich cookies, Harold.
Double nutty cookies have peanut butter inside and out.
These are good.
There's peanut butter in the crisp cookies and in the creamy filling, too, for double peanut butter taste.
Delicious.
And they're baked by elves.
Really?
Tell him you don't believe in elves, Harold.
Can I look around inside?
Harold!
Oh, watch your head. That's our magic oven over there.
Keebler double nutty peanut butter sandwich cookies. Uncommonly good, wherever they come from.
Harold, come out of that tree. It's getting dark.
Was it the late Samuel Goldwyn who declared that an oral agreement isn't worth the paper it's written on? Well, unfortunately, it's possible to say almost the same thing about written agreements. All of our activities are bound and defined by covenants of one kind or another. And a great deal of our time and energy is expended in trying to get around them. It is the beginning of the year 1803, The commanding general of the United States Army is dictating a letter to President Thomas Jefferson.
It is with considerable chagrin that I must inform you that there has been a miscarriage of my orders. Instead of sending Brigadier General Harold to negotiate a treaty with the Hopesaki Indians, it appears that Lieutenant Colonel Davy Gerald has been dispatched in his stead. Davy Gerald may be the dumbest officer in the United States Army, but fortunately, the Hopesaki are a very small and unimportant tribe. Besides, Gerald must travel through wild and dangerous country and may not reach the western border alive.
Hail to the great chief of the Hopesaki Indians. Chief, me send him here by great white father.
Bully. And how is President Jefferson?
What doggone, Chief, if you can't parlay some pretty fair to middling English. Put her there. I'm Colonel Davy Gerald of the United States Army.
I am most honored to make your acquaintance.
Where did you learn that fancy palaver, Chief?
I received my Bachelor of Arts degree at Columbia University, my master's at Harvard, and my doctorate at the Sorbonne. What is your pleasure, Colonel?
Well, Chief, the President wants to make a deal for some of the land you got here.
Some of it?
Well, all of it. I mean, east of the big river that flows along these parts. What is it called?
The Mississippi.
Yeah, whatever. Anyhow, it's great for farming.
Why do you not use the land on the west side of the Mississippi?
Well, we could never get folks to come out that far. What do you say, Chief, huh? What do you say?
Well, Colonel, I do not know. What do you suggest?
In return for this acreage you got here east of the river, we'll give you everything west of the river.
Everything?
Why not?
You, will put that in writing.
Well, I will indeed. I got me some parchment here, special for the purpose.
No.
But this is the finest sheepskin.
It must be your skin.
My skin?
Your body must serve as a guarantee for the treaty.
Well, I had no idea you folks would ask me to part with my skin.
Symbolically.
Yeah? What does that mean?
The jacket you wear, Colonel. It is like another layer of skin, is it not?
Huh? Oh, well, sure. Yeah, I guess that's right.
Therefore, we shall write the treaty on the back of that buckskin jacket of yours.
Well, whatever you say.
We shall inscribe this agreement with the crimson juice of the Halindina berry, which will last forever. Listen, all you of the Hopesaki tribe. In return for our land east of the Mississippi... Are you writing that on the jacket, Colonel?
Just as fast as you can say it.
In return for our land east of the Mississippi, the government of the United States will grant the Hopesaki complete and total ownership of all the territories west of the Mississippi, from the salt water of the sea to the hills in the north and the tall mountains in the west.
Ooh, you drive a hard bargain, Chief.
Sign this, what day is it?
It is April 29th. It's my birthday.
This 29th day of April, 1803. By authorization of Thomas Jefferson, 3rd President of the United States of America. And sign your name.
Yes, indeed, Chief, yeah.
Excellent, Colonel. Excellent. And now, the jacket, please.
Yeah. Nobody can say old Davy Gerald ain't patriotic. See what I just done for my country? I give her the shirt off my back. You
you have any idea what you did, Colonel Gerald?
Well, I think, General, I made a pretty good deal all the way around. I mean, all things considered.
You do? In return for a few hundred miserable miles of swampland, you gave up what could be 1/3 of the United States?
How was I to...
1 million square miles, to be exact, from the Gulf of Mexico north to the Canadian border and west as far as the Rocky Mountains.
Oh, but, General, that's where I worked a swindle.
Well, you weren't sent there to swindle. Really? How did you manage to swindle the Indians?
Well, the fact is, they can't collect it.
They can't? Why can't they? You signed an agreement in the name of the President of the United States of America.
Yeah, but how can they collect when all that land ain't ours, huh? It belongs to the French.
Colonel Gerald, while you were away on this mission, we bought that land from the French.
We bought the land, General?
Yes. We finally made the Louisiana Purchase. We paid the Emperor Napoleon $15 million, and you just gave it away to the Indians. What have you got to say for yourself?
Well, General, there ain't no point getting excited over an Indian treaty. Nobody ever keeps their promises to the Indians anyhow.
He has a point there, our Lieutenant Colonel Davy Gerald. However, he and the commanding general and President Jefferson and the great Hippisaki chief have all long since gone to their reward. And the year 1803 has receded into the dim haze of history. We are now back in our own time, the present.
Well, now, what have we here? Hey, little sister, looking for a ride?
Thank you.
Yeah. What's your name?
I like the one you just gave me, little sister. Mind if I keep it?
Well, it's all yours.
And what's your name?
Curly.
Curly?
Yeah?
Well, you don't have much hair, and that's a fact.
You should have seen how much I had when I was named. The hair left, but the name stuck.
Pity 'twasn't the other way around. What is it you do, Mr. Curly?
Yeah, I live off the land.
What does that mean?
Oh, it means rising up in the morning and taking whatever the good Lord sees fit to send. The good, the bad, the bitter, the sweet, and trusting in His infinite wisdom, goodness, and mercy.
Why, that sounds wonderful. You must be so happy.
Where you headed?
North. By northwest.
Any reason in particular?
I'm inspecting the country.
Oh, first time I ever heard that one. Inspecting for what?
See how the folks are using it.
Well, what particular part of the country is that?
Well, all through here. Far north is Canada. Far south is the Gulf of Mexico. Far west is the Rocky Mountains.
Well, that's a generous amount of country.
Isn't it?
Who you inspecting it for, the government?
No.
Or one of them monstrous big corporations?
Heaven forbid.
For who then?
For me.
For you?
I own it.
You own it?
Yes, sir. 1 million square miles.
1 million square miles?
You think I'm crazy?
Well, what makes you think you own, I guess it's the whole middle of the USA.
The U.S. government gave the land to the Hopisaki Indians.
The Hopisaki Indians? I never heard of them.
We were never much of a tribe to begin with. And they all died out, except for me. I'm the last of the Hopisakis.
Well, I'm truly sorry to hear that. You say the U.S. government gave you all that country?
It's a fact.
Well, how long ago did this happen?
Back there when Thomas Jefferson was president.
Could you prove it?
Says so on the jacket.
The jacket?
There was this Colonel Davy Gerald acting for President Jefferson. He wrote out the treaty on the back of his buckskin jacket, and he gave it to my great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Well, what did he write out on the jacket?
In return for our land east of the mighty Mississippi, the government of the United States will grant the Hopisaki complete and total ownership of all the territories west of the Mississippi, from the salt water of the sea to the hills in the north and the tall mountains in the west.
That's what the treaty says?
Signed this 29th day of April, 1803, by authorization of President Thomas Jefferson. Davy Gerald, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army.
And all that's written on the jacket?
Every word.
Where is this jacket now?
I'm wearing it.
You're wearing it?
Who else could wear it? I'm the last of the Hopasaki.
You mean all that's written down on the back of the jacket you got on now?
Every single word.
Little sister, you realize you are the richest lady in the United States of America? In the whole world?
Oh, yes, I know that.
So why are you hitching rides on the turnpike when you could own the most glorious automobile ever made? Well, you even own the turnpike. You could put up a toll booth every 5 miles.
I suppose.
Every house, every factory, all them shopping centers, every piece of wood, every brick. Why, it's yours. Yours. It's all yours.
It's true.
Well, what are you doing about it?
What is there I should do?
Well, establish proof of ownership.
But I already do have proof of ownership.
Do you know that every single soul living in Louisiana, Missouri, Arkansas, Iowa, Kansas, North Dakota, I know I'm leaving some out. Every one of them human beings is in effect trespassing on your property?
Probably.
There ain't no probably. Little sister, you need the services of a manager.
Oh?
Yeah. And I hereby offer you mine.
Well, what would a manager do?
Well, he'd take care of you.
Oh, I like that.
Now, you may ask, what are my qualifications for the job?
I don't have to ask. I can see them.
You can?
Oh, yes. You're very handsome, and you have such a sweet smile. Oh, and those deep brown eyes. They must have matched your hair.
Ma'am, my qualifications are these. I know human nature. Everybody is desirous of giving you a $5 bill, in return for which you will give him 10. So, I've been traveling this fine country of ours, or I should say yours, trying to satisfy that desire. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't.
Do you know why I travel the country? I'm seeking love.
Love?
Love. With the man of my dreams.
Well, as your manager, perhaps I could help you find him.
Thank you. But there's no need. I found him already.
Here you are, an honest, sincere, hard-working confidence man, and you run into a pretty little lady who tells you she's the legal owner of very close to a third of the USA. She seems to have a document to prove it. Now, right off, wouldn't you have to admit that this is definitely one of your better days? I'll be back shortly to continue with Act 2.
Thursday's A Night to Remember on CBS television. 3 great shows back again, back to back. We're looking good, starting with The Waltons. The year is 1943 on Walton's Mountain. You'll want to share the heartwarming stories of love and sacrifice as World War II brings growth and change to America's favorite family. Next, the exotic beauty of Hawaii's tropical paradise is the setting for volcanic adventure and heart-stopping action with Jack Lord and an exciting new Hawaii 5-0 team. Then, Buddy Ebsen as Barnaby Jones, teamed up for a new season of suspense and drama with Betty and J.R. Barnaby Jones, the private eye who's easygoing on the outside while he fights to put the bad guys on the inside. Thursdays are A Night to Remember this fall on CBS television.
With CBS, you're looking good.
Delta Airlines.
Say, does Delta fly to Atlanta?
Yes, sir. Delta has the most non-stops to Atlanta. 9 every day, plus 8 one-stop through jets.
Well, better give them all to me.
Yes, sir. Here goes. 7:20 a.m., rise and shine. The 8:20 flight is next in line. There's another breakfast flight at 9. Then come flights at 11:05, 11:30, and 12:25. The next flight takes off at 1:10, and close behind, the 2 p.m. There's a 2:40 flight and a 3:30, too. Or maybe the 4 is just right for you. The 4:40 jet is a big tri-star, and the 6:25 is popular. At 6:30, another flight, then the 7:25 comes into sight. A tri-star night coach at 9 p.m. and another at 2:45 a.m. And then we do it all again.
Wow, that was terrific.
You're sure to have a good time on Delta. To Atlanta, Jacksonville, Daytona Beach, all the South.
Hey, I had a good time just calling.
Delta is ready when you are.
What did Sir Walter Scott say? Breathes there a man with soul so dead, who never to himself hath said, "This is my own, my native land." The sentiment is fine, but there's a slight confusion of fact. The fact that you may be a native doesn't mean necessarily that you own the land. That is, unless you're a certain young lady whom we shall call Little Sister. We're about to examine her documents in much closer detail.
Now, you just take your time, little sister. Finish up your coffee. Where were we? The land. Oh, yeah, the land. We cannot leave all this land go to waste.
But it isn't going to waste. People are living on it.
Yeah, but it belongs to you. You just can't overlook the fact.
I swear, Curly, you got a one-track mind. All you can think about is land, land, land.
I'm your manager. I have to look after you.
I like that.
Would you like to be rich?
Do you like me, Curly?
Oh, what a question. Of course I like you.
That's good.
Yeah, now, would you like to be rich?
Well, no.
Why not?
In addition to having the nicest eyes, you also got the sweetest smile.
Yeah. Now, look, all them folks that live on your land, you should be charging them rent.
Oh, I could never be a landlord.
There ain't no disgrace in being a landlord. After all, a man must follow his destiny.
But being a landlord isn't my destiny.
Yes, it is. It says so.
Where does it say so?
On the back of your jacket. All this land was granted free and clear to the Hopisaki Indians, of whom the only sole living survivor is you, right?
Right.
Then to keep faith with the letter and spirit of the treaty, all these people have just got to pay you rent. Now, look. You see this? This is 5 cents. The 20th part of a dollar, a nickel. Is there a man, woman, or child who could not afford to pay you 1 nickel in rent?
A nickel?
A nickel a month in rent. Now, I don't have the figures here, but say you got 30 million folks living on your property. Now, at a nickel a month a head, that's $1.5 million coming in every 30 days. Yeah, now that's $18 million a year. You see how painless it is? Nobody gets robbed. Nobody gets hurt.
But I don't need $18 million a year.
Everybody needs $18 million a year. Now, you just listen to me, and I'll prove it.
Curly, when you smile at me like that, I could believe anything.
Hiya there, Curly.
How you doing, Jailhouse?
Well, so, and it comes and it goes.
Why don't you spring yourself, Jailhouse? You know more legal angles than the Supreme Court.
Well, what do I want to get out of here for, Curly? I got my books, my friends, my clients come and visit me. I'm used to jail.
Oh, still and all, it's the clink.
What do I want to be outside for, with all that noise and the pollution and the crime in the street?
Jailhouse, you, read my letter?
Yeah, Curly, yes, I did. I'm scared.
Scared? For what?
I'm scared for you. Now, it's too big. It'll get away from you. Now, you know what's in it? Billions. I tell you, it can destroy you.
No, I won't let it happen.
Well, I have seen it happen.
Then, the thing is legit, huh?
Well, you got no fewer than 419 established precedents. Nothing this big, naturally, but she's got the paper. I mean, the jacket.
You're saying We own 27% of the good old USA?
No, I'm saying she owns it.
Oh, there's nothing she wouldn't do for me. I can have anything she's got. She loves me.
You get it in writing. Now, you marry the dame.
Mary? Well, I never thought I'd have to.
Now, you have got to protect your interests. And once you marry her, you own her.
Well, how can I own her? It's against the law.
Now, you trying to tell me about the law? Now, what do you think I've been doing here for the last 58 years? Studying the law. Who do you think calls me up here on the QT when they get stuck?
I'm only saying, Jailhouse, that ownership of a person is against...
Lawyers call me, boy. Judges call me.
I understand that,
now,
but...
this thing of yours, now, it's going to go to court. Now, who do you think they'll want to get a sneak opinion from, huh? Old Jailhouse here, that's who.
Now, please, excuse me, Jailhouse.
Now, the basis for what I'm saying is this. Now, you listen. The territory originally belonged to the Hopasaki Indians. The law that was followed was the Hopasaki law.
Right.
Now, which means all their descendants are bound by the Hopasaki law and customs. Now, you see, I happen to study the Hopasaki legal code.
What did you find out?
Oh, I found out a lot. Now, but the thing that concerns you is that once a woman marries a man, she belongs to him.
She does?
And so does everything she owns.
It does?
So, when you hear them wedding bells chime, Curly, you know what they're singing? Mine! Mine! Mine!
Curly!
Hello, honey.
Where have you been?
Oh, just looking after some business.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Oh, so am I, honey.
And I missed you.
I had to go acquire the advice of my attorney.
About what?
The rent for the Hopasaki territory.
Oh, Curly, is that why you married me? 'Cause I own all that property?
Oh, of course not.
Would you marry me anyhow?
What do you think?
Would you have, Curly?
Honey, the one and only reason I married you is 'cause I love you. Now, about that rent...
Oh, Curly, I just don't feel right charging folks to live.
But it's only a nickel.
Well, maybe it's the principle of the thing.
I'm only trying to make you rich.
But I don't want to be rich.
Yes, you do. Honey, just think of all the folks you could help. You see?
Oh.
Yeah, you'd be using the money for doing good things.
Well...
You know I'm right. All you gotta do is just, sign this little document here.
Well, all right, Curly, if you say so. There.
Honey, we're gonna be rich.
Rich?
Let's go.
Where?
To Washington, D.C. Isn't that where everybody goes to get a slice of the pie? You see, honey, I told you, it was no trick at all getting into the White House.
Well, sure, Curly, anybody can get in just to walk around the first floor. But you can't go past those ropes, see? The sign says closed to the public.
Well, don't you worry about it. Here. Now, I'll hold up the rope, and you just scrunch through underneath.
But the sign says...
I know what the sign says.
But you can't. We can't.
In this world, there's two kinds. Them that believe in signs and them that don't. Now, come on, underneath. Underneath.
Curly.
Unless you want me to go by myself. Now, there. Now, that's how you do it. Fine.
Curly... Those men with the guns. The guards...
Honey, now, Curly's here, and everything is under control.
Hey, you there, mister. Hey!
Gentlemen, before you say another word, I know your situation. I'm aware of your problem. Just read this here piece of paper. Read it, and then take this document to the president. And tell him we don't have all day to wait for an answer.
You're joking.
I wish I were, Mr. President.
Well, let's get a legal opinion. I want to talk to the Chief Justice.
We've gone beyond him.
Beyond the Chief Justice? Who would know more about the law?
Well, Mr. President, do you remember when we needed to find out if we were on firm ground with the Panama Canal Treaty?
Oh, you mean him?
Yes, sir.
I've got a call into him right now. Oh, that's him probably on the line right now.
I better take it. Hello?
Well, I guess this is hail to the chief, huh?
Mr. Jailhouse, you recognize the complexity of the problem.
Well, now, it ain't complex at all.
It isn't?
She owns the land. That's how simple it is.
But
No buts, no ifs and ands neither.
but if we took the land away from its present owners...
But there isn't only but one owner. All the rest is trespassers.
But the people won't stand for it.
Why not? Isn't this supposed to be a country of laws?
Well, we certainly do have a problem.
No, sir. Not me. I don't have any problem.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Jailhouse.
Anytime.
Palmer, I suppose I'll have to see those people after all. I'm asking both of you to think of the country. Now, we recognize the justice of your claims.
Well, naturally, Mr. President, we thought you would.
However, there's no point throwing the country into a turmoil now, is there?
Well, what sort of turmoil do you have in mind, sir?
People might not take kindly to the idea that they don't own their land anymore.
Anymore? Well, they never did own it to begin with.
Oh, the facts in the case are not in dispute. I have that on excellent legal authority.
Me too, Mr. President.
Why don't we settle this thing quietly?
How, sir?
Well, I will quietly give you 1 year's rent, which, according to the latest census figures, would amount to $44 million.
$44 million?
Tax-free.
Might I ask, Mr. President, how would you get this $44 million? Quietly.
Oh, I'd just take it out of petty cash.
$44 million.
What do you say? Do we have a deal?
If you were talking to me, the answer would be yes. But here we have Curly, and I really don't know how his mind is working at this point. $44 million. As the popular song goes, who could ask for anything more? We'll see what sort of tune Curly will be singing in Act 3.
There's a laxative medicine you should know about. X-Lax pills. Overnight, X-Lax pills gently stimulate your system's own natural rhythm. In the morning, your system takes it from there, comfortably. That's the difference. Because X-Lax pills stimulate your system's own natural rhythm. For occasional use, only as directed.
Now, a powerful anti-itch drug you can buy without a prescription. Bicozine Cream, medical formula for itching. Powerful. Use as directed. Bicozine Cream.
Children, they're our future. But not all are happy. Some are in trouble with the law. Others are abused, hungry, homeless, or just need some understanding. 1979 is the International Year of the Child. Organizations in 118 nations are engaged in projects to help children everywhere. Your Red Cross is one of them. To find out what we're doing and how you can help, call us today. Thank you.
When you see her, you walk on by, you don't know him, you won't even try.
That's Stella Reese, singing about how people with epilepsy are sometimes misunderstood. Do you know that epilepsy can happen to anyone, at any age, for many causes? Epilepsy can begin from a bad case of measles. I'm Gerald June. I know. At 9 years old, I contracted measles encephalitis. Now I have epilepsy, but it doesn't stop me from writing music. My kind of epilepsy couldn't have been prevented then. It can now.
When you see her, you walk on by, you don't know him, you won't even try. They don't want you to hold their hands, they just need you to understand.
To learn about causes and prevention, contact your local chapter of the Epilepsy Foundation of America or write Epilepsy, Washington, D.C., 20036.
righteous man, according to Confucius, does not forget an old agreement, no matter how far back it goes. To which we may add, neither does the righteous country. And so here we have a very old agreement, a long past due bill that is being presented for payment.
Well, do we have a deal?
$44 million, Mr. President.
It's a great deal of money. $44 million to give up all further claim to the Hopasaki Treaty holdings. What do you say?
I'd really like to think about it.
Honey, how'd you like the way I handled that?
Curly, I thought the president was more than reasonable. My goodness, what could we do with $44 million?
Oh, that's just chicken feed.
We won't be able to live long enough to spend $44 million.
We're going to have more.
More?
This is only the beginning.
The beginning of what?
Well, it's time.
Time?
Mm-hmm. The president's holding his regular press conference. Now, we better tune in the radio.
Why?
Wait and see. It's about to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have no preliminary announcements to make, so at this time, let us get right to the questions. Yes?
Sir, is the rumor true?
What's rumor?
Isn't it a fact that the United States is about to lose almost 1/3 of its territory?
Wherever did you get such a ridiculous idea?
Will you confirm or deny this rumor?
Yes, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, I regret that I must end this conference immediately.
What did you think of that?
Curly, how did all those reporters know?
Well, I guess there was a leak.
A leak?
Oh, there's always leaks, especially if you're careful to tip off the right newspapers.
But why, Curly, why?
Honey, we're playing for bigger game.
But what could be bigger than $44 million? We got that already, and I don't even want it.
Oh, I have to take you in hand and educate you.
In what?
In the science of power politics.
Curly, let's get into the car and leave here right now.
Now? Like that can't be done.
But what are we going to do?
We'll just, sit here and wait.
For what?
For all Hades to bust loose.
Mr. President, the cabinet meeting's about to start.
I know, Palmer.
What are you going to do?
Abide by the agreement. What else is there to do? There are no legal or moral alternatives.
Yes, sir.
President Thomas Jefferson authorized this agreement.
Does that mean we're stuck with it?
You could say that. You could also say we are happy to be able to demonstrate that the word of the United States government can be trusted forever in any and all circumstances.
But, Mr. President, already there are threats of riots, even civil war.
Story tonight is the story that everyone's talking about. If you own property of any kind, north of the Gulf of Mexico, south of the Canadian border, west of the Mississippi, and east of the Rockies, there is a cloud over your title. This land was given to the Hopasaki Indians and is reputedly the property of the last survivor of the tribe, a young lady known only as Little Sister.
Curly, listen to what they're saying.
I know what they're saying.
I don't understand. You said we would charge everyone a nickel a head rent. I said okay because it didn't sound so bad.
Now, you leave everything to me.
Well, what's there to leave? The president agreed to your price.
I know.
Well, then why didn't you take it?
Honey, that was just to establish what my legal counsel calls the legitimacy of the claim.
I don't understand, Curly. What do you want?
Would you answer that, honey?
Hello? Oh, yes, sir. Curly, it's the President of the United States.
Well, naturally, who else?
He wants to know if we can be in his office by 10 o'clock.
Tell him to, make it 11.
Curly, it's the President. Sir, we will be honored to be there. Yes, sir. Goodbye.
I guess he'll be honored to receive us also.
What has gotten into you? Here, a man is offering $44 million.
I know. And I don't want it.
Well, I don't want it either. Oh, let's get out of here.
Suppose we took the $44 million.
What would happen to us? Well, we'd just be rich people. We'd leave empty, idle, useless lives. We'd become, decadent.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm not sure, but it's nothing good.
Oh, it's so much better to be poor.
No, honey, we've been through that. It ain't better.
Well, if you don't want to be rich, and you don't want to be poor, what do you want to be?
That's what the President of the United States is going to ask me. And that's when you'll have your answer.
What do you want?
Power.
Oh, what do you mean by power?
You're asking me that question?
Well, believe me, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Well, that's what I'm about to find out. I'm going to become a president, too, but a president for life.
Oh, pardon me for breaking into the conversation, but what are you about to become president of, Curly?
You're looking at the first president of Hopisaki land, a sovereign country, and the latest addition to the family of nations.
Now, hold on. This land may have been sold to the Hopisaki Indians, but it still remains a part of the United States of America.
Mr. President, the land in question is no longer a part of the United States of America. I have it on good authority from my legal advisor.
Suppose we adjourn this meeting briefly while I discuss this with our legal advisor.
Permit me to tell you your problem, Chief. Now, you're looking at this thing as if it was a real estate transaction.
Well, isn't it? Wasn't it?
No, sirree. It wasn't just a transfer of title, or as they say in Latin, transfundere in partibus. Now, you see what I mean?
Well...
It's like when, what's his name, who once worked for Abe Lincoln, bought Alaska from Russia. Alaska becomes part of the United States, and the Russians is out.
Are you saying then, Mr. Jailhouse, that the United States is out?
Carly, where have you been?
Out shopping. See what I bought?
Do you know what's going on?
Of course I do. Wait till you see this.
Newspapers, the people, they don't know what to do, what to expect. There's talk that the U.S. Army will have to enforce the treaty. Curly, we don't want bloodshed.
What do you think of this?
Well, looks like kind of a bathrobe.
It's ermine. It's fur. Genuine ermine.
Oh, you mean weasel.
What?
That's really what an ermine is, weasel.
Honey, this is the fur that's worn by royalty. I'm going to have to get one for you, too.
What for?
The coronation. What do you think?
The coronation?
Yours and mine. We're going to be king and queen of Hopisaki land.
But I don't want to be.
My mind's made up.
Curly, I don't want to be queen.
Well, you gotta be. After all, I'd be king.
And I don't want you to be king either.
Gotta be the king.
Why?
Don't you remember what I told you the first day we met? A man has to follow his destiny.
I don't want to have to say this, but I'm the last surviving Hopisaki, and it's my treaty, and it's my land, and therefore I'm calling it off.
You can't do that.
I don't want to, Curly, but I have to, for your sake.
You can't do that because according to Hopisaki law, you belong to me. I'm your Lord and Master.
Curly!
That's the law. I'm going to be king, and you're going to be queen. And what's more, you're going to like it.
No.
Hey, where you going?
I'm going to save you, Curly. Somehow I'm going to save you.
Now, you come back here.
So you're the little Indian girl Curly married, eh?
Yes, sir, Mr. Jailhouse.
What's she crying about? Now, isn't he treating you right, honey?
You have to do something. You simply have to save Curly.
From what?
From himself. Oh, this whole business.
Oh, yeah, I warned him about that.
It's going to destroy him.
Yeah, probably.
Already they say the Army will have to use force to uphold the treaty.
Oh, there isn't any doubt about it.
You see, what I'm scared of is that sooner or later somebody will figure the best way out of it would be to assassinate Curly.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised it hasn't taken place already.
Don't say that.
Yeah, now you can look forward to it.
Oh, do something.
What?
Save him.
How?
Think of something.
Like,
Well, like a way to break the treaty.
Oh, and little sister, that treaty is rock-ribbed, steel-clad, and iron-bound.
You mean you can't think of a way to break it?
Well, no, I didn't say that. Now, you just turn around and let me read that jacket now just one more time.
I know you'll see something.
Yeah, and then turn... I sure do.
Yeah?
Honey, you just go right on home, and by the time you get there, it'll be all over. Now, unless you'd rather stay here now. Well, you think about it. It's the only place a person's really free.
Thank you, Mr. Jailhouse, but I'd better get home and take care of Curly.
Yeah, he's sure gonna need a little consolation.
Curly? What are you staring at me like that for? Curly?
It's all over.
What is?
Well, you mean you haven't heard the news?
What news?
Well, they keep repeating it on the radio. Listen.
And in case you haven't heard the sensational news, it's all over. The treaty was null and void to begin with. It seems that the president's legal advisor, an eminent but anonymous jurist, has discovered that Colonel Davy Gerald sold the Indians land which did not belong to the United States. The treaty is dated April 29th, 1803. At that time, the land in question belonged to France. Napoleon did not sell it to the United States until the following day, April 30th. And so, because of Colonel Davy Gerald's stupid mistake, or was it stupid?
Oh, that's enough. Jailhouse. Somebody got to him.
I suppose somebody did.
And here I am, with nothing.
You got me.
What good are you?
Oh, it's true. I guess you married me because you thought I could make you rich.
Why do you think I married you?
Oh!
Hey, come back here. Where do you think you're going?
After what you just said to me?
Oh, I didn't mean it. It's like you get bit by a snake and you get all feverish.
Well...
I don't know what come over me. Honest. What do I want to be a king for?
I don't know.
It's a crazy idea. What do I want to be rich for?
I don't know.
Do you know what I really want to be? What I always was. Happy.
Living off the land.
Yeah. Especially the Hopasaki land. You know, whoever got the jailhouse really did me a favor. I'd sure like to know who it was.
Well, why don't we just forget it?
Mr. James M. Barrie wrote a play called What Every Woman Knows. And our little sister is absolutely aware of and in agreement with him because she understands that what every woman knows is something that every smart woman keeps secret. I, on the other hand, have no secrets from you and shall return shortly.
This is Gary Danielson, quarterback with the Detroit Lions, and I have a message from the National Easter Seal Sports Council. We're a group of athletes who have teamed up to help the Easter Seal Society in its work with people who have disabilities. Like other members of the Sports Council, I'm an Easter Seal volunteer in my community. I spend time with handicapped kids, and I've talked with their parents. So I know firsthand how important Easter Seal services are in helping disabled people get back into the mainstream of life. When you visit an Easter Seal Center, you'll see people of all ages, some born with handicaps, some injured in accidents, and others disabled by illness. Regardless of the cause, they are getting the kind of rehabilitation service they need to help them achieve independent lifestyles. That's why I'm with Easter Seals all the way. If you'd like to get involved in this important program, get in touch with your local Easter Seals Society. We'll welcome your support. Easter Seals, a great way to help handicapped people.
We reconsider the story you have just heard, and we ask, could it have happened? And the answer is, why not? But could it be historically true? Again, the answer, why not? We seem to have a sort of chivalry regard for the majesty and wisdom of history, when the fact is that history can be as mixed up and as confused as anything else. Why not? Isn't history the product of human beings? And you know, they can mess things up. Our cast included Russell Horton, Betsy Beard, Earl Hammond, and Ray Owens. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
Absolutely everything's in order.
Well, what's in this package?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm carrying it for this gentleman behind me who has no room in his valise. Did you say this was the one with the music boxes, Charlie? Charlie? Where did he go?
Which gentleman are you talking about, ma'am?
Oh, the gentleman who was well, I'm sure he'll be right back.
I see. Well, would you mind opening this package?
Well, of course, See? I told you it was a music box. I was with him when he bought it.
Open the lid, please.
Of course. That's funny. It doesn't play. It should.
Well, it doesn't play, ma'am, because there are no works inside.
What are those packets? Those cellophane packets?
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
It's Northwest Federal Savings Time. We've got more time for you.
This winter, you'll be looking for ways to save energy. Look to Northwest Federal for tips on how to dial down and snuggle up during the chilly months ahead. Northwest Federal has put together a special selection of energy-wise gifts. Yours just for saving at Northwest Federal. You'll find all kinds of cold weather helpers, from thermostats to snug sacks. It's a great selection, and it includes fat, cuddly comforters, toasty warm blankets, and even a snug jogging suit that's as easy to wear indoors as out. But hurry, the offer is good for a limited time only, and there's one gift per family. Come check your nearest Northwest Federal Savings Center for the full calendar of energy events. In the weeks ahead, they'll be offering clinics, demonstrations, and helpful hints on the ways you can save energy and money this winter with a little help from Northwest Federal.
It's Northwest Federal Savings Time. We've got more time for you.
CBS News. With the U.S. emissary sent to Iran stalled in Turkey, the U.S. has reportedly been in indirect contact with the Palestine Liberation Organization, which has sent its own team to Tehran. I'm David Jackson reporting on the CBS Radio Network. Ayatollah Khomeini today said nobody would receive the U.S. envoys, so the State Department has told them to hold up in Istanbul. United Press International in Tehran quotes U.S. officials as saying the indirect contact with the PLO was made in the framework of a, quote, pressing humanitarian matter. The Palestinians are there, they say, to try and ensure the safety of the 70 hostages being held inside the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. so far has ruled out any military reaction. Ike Pappas reports from the Pentagon.
13 U.S. Navy warships were in the Persian Gulf and Indian Ocean when the latest crisis broke out. The ships are still in those waters on what is described as normal patrol. No orders to move closer to Iran have gone out. American combat troops in Europe and the United States have not, repeat, not been placed on alert to move to Iran. The reason? Defense officials have carefully examined the various military options available to free the hostages and have concluded not one is acceptable considering the potential loss of life. Even the slightest suggestion that the United States might use force in the situation could result in the slaughter of the hostages and other Americans in Iran, and the United States is unwilling to take the risk. Even an Entebbe-type quick raid has been ruled out. The Israelis knew the Entebbe airport layout well. They helped to build it. In Iran, the American hostages are being held miles from any airport, and U.S. officials admit they're not certain whether all the hostages are still together at the embassy. Ike Pappas, CBS News, the Pentagon.
More news in a minute.
Come on in, Pat. Door's unlocked.
Hi, Ruth. What you doing?
Looking at these pictures I took at the party.
Let me see.
You know, you didn't smile in any of them.
Know why?
Uh-uh.
My teeth. I have awful yellow cigarette stains, and I've tried one thing after another.
Well, why don't you try Topol, the smoker's tooth polish?
Topol?
Yeah, Topol. It's made to help unstain teeth.
Sounds like what I need, but I use a fluoride toothpaste.
Well, you can get Topol with fluoride or without.
Really? I think I'll get some before my big trip.
Oh, that's right. You're going away.
Topol,
How long?
the smoker's tooth polish helps remove all kinds of superficial stains. Everything from cigarette to food stains. Topol's foaming action and polishing agents start to work immediately to clean your teeth and to remove those unsightly yellow stains. Helps leave your teeth white as they can be in just 8 weeks.
Pat, you're back. How was the trip?
Fabulous. And I have a bunch of pictures with me smiling, thanks to Topol.
Oh, you used it?
Sure did. Look, my teeth are as bright as yours now.
Get the smoker's tooth polish. Topol. T-O-P-O-L. Now with or without fluoride. Use only as directed.
A key senator involved in the debate on the new arms limitation treaty with the Russians, Democrat John Glenn of Ohio, says he will vote against sending SALT II to the Senate floor from the Foreign Relations Committee. Says he's not convinced it's verifiable. But Glenn adds he could still vote for it on the floor if he does become convinced the U.S. can adequately monitor Soviet missile testing. The latest CBS News New York Times poll of 1,385 adults nationwide shows that more people know more about SALT II and like it less. Root Morton has details.
Last June, over half the people we polled said they didn't know enough about the SALT treaty to judge it, but those who did have an opinion favored SALT by 3-1. That's changed. Now, 25% are for SALT, 20% against, suggesting that people who formed an opinion about the treaty recently are likely to oppose it. People are also more doubtful than they were last June that the treaty will reduce the risk of war. A lot of people still don't know much about SALT. Only 38% of our sample could name the two countries involved, though that's higher than in earlier polls. And among those who did know, the treaty has become a partisan issue. Democrats and independents are for it, Republicans against it almost 2-1. We also asked whether the United States should negotiate with the Palestine Liberation Organization. U.S. policy is against that at present, and found our sample just about evenly divided. Bruce Morton, CBS News, Washington.
The results are subject to a built-in sampling error of plus or minus 3 percentage points. A West Virginia state trooper was shot and killed Wednesday night as 13 inmates escaped from the Moundsville, West Virginia prison, all of the inmates considered armed and dangerous. Now this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Roberta Flack.
Reach out and touch someone. Won't you reach out, call up and just say hi. Wherever you are, you're never too far. They're waiting to share your day. You can keep your whole world close around you. Just pick up your phone and give them a call. Anywhere, anytime. Reach out and touch someone.
The Bell System.
Tonight on CBS television. The time is World War II, the dark days. The Allies have their backs against the wall. A small group of fighter pilots led by Pappy Boyington battle over the Blue Pacific because there's no choice. It's fight or die. Join the Black Sheep Squadron starring Robert Conrad tonight after the late news, followed by more great entertainment on the CBS Late Night Movies double feature.
CBS News White House correspondent Leslie Stahl reports that the Carter for President campaign has been facing some money troubles and for a time considered letting its November 15th payroll slip. Then it was decided that might look like the Kennedy campaign was getting all the contributions. So after some fundraising calls, aides now say they do expect to meet the mid-November payroll. David Jackson, CBS News.
First in news, we're CBS, News Radio 78, WBBM, Chicago.
Good evening, everyone. It's 11:29 now. This is Alan Bickley on WBBM News Radio 78 in Chicago. The radar at Marseille shows light rain over much of northern and central Illinois and extreme northwest Indiana tonight, and this rain is moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. The snow mixture that had been forecast has not materialized, for the most part, except that we do have just a notice of a little snow out at DuPage County Airport. That's the only mention of snow anywhere in the area. Our forecast for the rest of the night, cloudy with rain, possibly mixed with a bit of snow and a low of 35. Then the rain ending tomorrow, becoming mostly cloudy in Chicago with a high of 40. On Thursday night, cloudy with rain likely, continuing into Friday, with a low Thursday night in the mid to upper 30s and a high Friday in the upper 40s or the low 50s. At Midway Airport, the temperature is 38 degrees, also 38 at the lakefront, 40 at O'Hare Field, 37 degrees at DuPage County Airport. And all the reporting points, Powell-Waukee, Meigs Field, Midway, O'Hare, Glenview, report a little bit of rain and, in 2 cases, a touch of snow. Those are DuPage and Glenview. Wind to southwest at 17 miles per hour. In the news tonight, Senator Edward Kennedy arrived in Chicago to be escorted to a reception by Mayor Jane Byrne. With more on Kennedy's visit, here's WBBM's Bob Crawford.
Mayor Byrne and Senator Kennedy were greeted with loud cheers from about 1,500 supporters when they arrived at the rally. Walking along a narrow path covered with a gold rug and flanked by multicolored pennants and Kennedy for President signs, the mayor and senator broke into smiles when the crowd broke into chants of Janie, Janie, and then Teddy, Teddy. And it wasn't long before Kennedy had them cheering again with a speech that hit hard on a key campaign theme, President Carter's lack of leadership.
I say to the people of Chicago, we didn't elect Robert Strauss as President of the United States. We didn't elect Mr. Schlesinger as President of the United States. We didn't elect Mr. Volcker as President of the United States. We elect Jimmy Carter, and he hasn't been out there doing the job in fighting the problems of inflation.
And in words reminiscent of the 1960 campaign of his late brother and President John F. Kennedy, the senator said he would soon be back in Chicago to spell out what he called the nation's unfinished agenda. This is Bob Crawford.
Despite Kennedy's Chicago reception, a downstate mayor is not confident about a victory for him here in the Prairie State. Walter Rogers reports.
Don't write off Illinois to Senator Kennedy yet. That was the message East St. Louis, Illinois Mayor Carl Officer gave President Carter. Mayor Officer, who's firmly committed to Mr. Carter, said Kennedy can't even count on Chicago, despite the endorsement he got from Chicago Mayor Jane Byrne. For one thing, Officer said the majority of Chicago voters are black, and Mayor Byrne doesn't speak for them. Indeed, the East St. Louis mayor predicted Illinois cities will support Mr. Carter.
This administration, probably the most committed administration in the history of this country toward rebuilding the urban areas on a permanent basis. I don't think that that's something I can shy away from, being logical.
The East St. Louis mayor said the Kennedy camp has courted him, but he doesn't abandon his friends, in this case, President Carter. Walter Rogers at the White House.
It's 11:32, and we'll have news about the Iranian events in just a moment.
Come see Neil Simon's Chapter 2. NBC's Gene Shalit calls it the finest play Neil Simon has ever written. For crying out loud, see this play. Also for laughing out loud. David Hedison, Barbara Anderson, Jane A. Johnston, and Vincent Bogetta star in this smash hit. As Clive Barnes of the Post says, make Chapter 2 #1 on your theater shopping list. Tickets available at the Blackstone box office and all Ticketron outlets, or call Telecharge at 977-1700.
Industry and businesses stay in business with Forbes Electrical Services.
If you live on the South Shore or in South Chicago, Chatham, or Hyde Park, and if you enjoy a great steak, you'll love Alexander's. Writes Chicago Magazine, the high-quality food makes this a worthy destination. Established in 1914, Alexander's is now serving the third generation of South Side steak enthusiasts. Businessmen and businesswomen from all over the South Side make Alexander's their headquarters for lunch and drinks. Alexander's house specialty is prime rib of beef, a luxurious thick cut. And it comes, as do other entrees, with a Greek-style salad served with Alexander's famous garlic salad dressing. Alexander's also features 7 steak and chop choices, from chopped sirloin to filet mignon. For your next lunch or evening out, enjoy the friendly atmosphere and the great steaks at Alexander's at 3010 East 79th Street. All major credit cards are welcome. For every one of those American hostages being held at the U.S. Embassy in Iran, don't forget that there are family and friends here in the United States, many of them receiving little or no word as to the fate of their loved ones. Regine Schlesinger has an example.
Still no word on the fate of 22-year-old Paul Lewis, a Marine from Illinois who's among the 60 hostages being held at the American Embassy in Tehran. Paul's father, Philip, of Homer, Illinois, says he hasn't heard anything from the State Department since yesterday morning, but he feels confident the administration is doing everything in its power to free his son. Lewis says Paul arrived in Iran just one day before the takeover began, aware of the risks involved in his assignment.
When he called me, and I said, well, you know what you're getting into? And he said, well, somebody's got to do it.
Lewis says he opposes any military action aimed at freeing the hostages. He's afraid such action would endanger the life of his son and the other hostages. This is Regine Schlesinger.
President Carter is drawing criticism from presidential candidates in connection with the situation in Iran. One of those critical of the president is Democratic contender, Congressman Phil Crane, or the Republican contender, Phil Crane of Illinois.
Well, first of all, I think the president should have learned a lesson when they overran the American embassy back in February. You know, the first obligation...